Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CryptoTraders Room, which is the only place where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. And hope everybody's doing well on this Wednesday morning, evening, afternoon, depending where you're located. But if you're a new-time viewer, welcome to this channel, and don't be shy. Say what's up. There's a lot of great people that are consistently on this live stream, and they got some great information to share. So if you're a new-time viewer, don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification, and then stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. And we are live streaming this on Steemit. So if you're live streaming this on, if you're watching this on Steemit, thank you so much. We do appreciate your support. Andre, welcome. Let's see who else we got in this room. Give a little shout out here and there. Brandon, welcome. Good morning, bud. Yeah, let me know where you guys are from too. It's great for me to know, where we have people coming in from. There's definitely people from all over the world on this live stream and other live streams. GST Arthur, good morning. What's up? Or good afternoon. Not sure where you're located. ECS, what is up, buddy? Hope all's well. But yeah, I got a couple things to cover today, and a couple things from the last live stream that I wasn't able to cover that somebody asked me to take a look at some of the cryptocurrencies. So we'll be taking a look at Verge, Dimecoin, as well as Dash. Brandon H, you live in Philly. Man, that's my stomping ground. That's where I grew up. I live about 3.5, 4 hours away now, but my parents still live in Philly, and I'm usually in Philly occasionally here and there. So maybe one of these days I'll have to announce it when I'm in Philly. And we could do some type of a meetup. Norman, Utah, Minnesota, Joseph from Cali. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Smart money, good business. Yeah, area, Youngstown. Yeah, you're not too far away from me at all. I'm in Central PA State College, Penn State University. So I'm assuming you're an Ohio State fan. Kenneth, welcome. What is up, dude? From Miami. Nice. Brandon. We got two Brandons. We got, Brandon K, Brandon H. Yeah, dude, Brandon. Yeah, I'll definitely announce it, man. I don't know when I'm going to be in Philly, to be honest with you. But, my parents live in Southwest Philly. So, we could definitely do a meetup down South Street or something. Maybe we'll get Ken Bozak. And if you guys don't follow Ken Bozak, definitely, look him up. He's got some great information to share. And I know he's from, I don't think he's from Philly, but he's from Jersey. So maybe we can get Ken Bozak to kind of join us down South Street. Ireland in the house. Go Birds. Yeah, man. Hopefully this year, the past 3-4 years hasn't been great. Chip Kelly kind of ruined that team. He broke it up. We could have had a dynasty. But all right, so what is really going on in this cryptocurrency? The last video, I kind of forget what I titled it, but it's basically a bull trap. That's what it is. It was a dead cat bounce, and it was a nice dead cat bounce. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, for BTC to kind of go up, $600 from that low that it touched. I mean, that's impressive. That is impressive, and that is a nice dead cat bounce. But dead cat bounce, what happens after it goes up a little bit is, well, not a little bit, $600 is a good amount of money, is that it tends to drop, and that's kind of what we're seeing now. So on Bitfinex, it touched 2,400. I don't think on Coinbase that it actually touched, or GDAX, it touched 2,400. I think it was just a little shy of 2,400. But I mean, it's coming back down, to 2,290, 2,300. So that was a dead cat bounce, and weekend we're gonna have a sell-off. So kind of being midweek, Thursday, Friday, I can see volume kind of dying down, and some of these cryptocurrencies possibly start to make new time lows. So and that's exactly what's happening. So the trend is following. On Bitfinex, LTC going to 44.90. Didn't get to my $45 execution price, but oh well, that's kind of what happens. But yeah, it's down to $40.88. So I mean, this could easily start touching, that $35 level, 34, and get under that all-time low. So that's why this video is titled, "This is a second wave drop, lower lows in the horizon." And then who's buying Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Unlimited? And I'm surprised that nobody has picked this out at all. In the numerous live streams that I've done in the past, I've mentioned it, but nobody even talked about it at all. So let me log in here real quick. I can't believe I forgot to do that earlier. But yeah, on Bitfinex, you could actually trade Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Unlimited. And I actually don't have my phone on me for two-factor authentication, so we'll just have to do a demo account until I can actually go grab it from the bar. All right, so let's go ahead and, because yeah, the layout is going to look a little different because I customized the layout on Bitfinex to my liking. So this is going to be the generic layout that they have on here. But I need to get out of this kind of demo tutorial. So Bitcoin Core, where are you? BCC, 2,054 bucks. BCU, 240 bucks. And I've seen BCU touch 130, 140 and get up to 300 bucks, come back down to 180, get back up to 240. But the volume is always low. I mean, I'm surprised that we actually have a volume of 25 on Bitcoin Unlimited. But Bitcoin Core, the volume is usually under 1. So it's not worth it to get in and then expect to get out. You're going to have a hard time getting out considering there is no volume that's happening. You might be able to sell a fraction, a tenth, of your position here and there to try to get out, but it's going to take you a while. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised nobody has mentioned those two at all, considering they have been on there for a while, ever since I started using Bitfinex. And the nice thing is CryptoWatch has actually updated some of the cryptocurrencies that they have on there. So they are expanding, which is great. So, hopefully they can add more and make it a great tool to use, kind of an all-in-one to kind of look at some of the most popular cryptocurrencies. But they added EOS, GNO. Let's see what else they added. Of course, they just added, Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Unlimited. USDT is added on there. IOTA is added on there. NXT is added on there. OMG is added on there. So on my fourth monitor, that's basically what I have. I have IOTA. I have, what else was the other one that I have? Actually, let me get this laptop up. So basically, I have EOS, IOTA, and OMG chart using CryptoWatch. So, I'm able to kind of keep an eye on them and see exactly what they're doing. But, the trend is all the same. If you kind of overlap all these cryptocurrencies on a same time frame chart, you're going to see the same pattern. That pattern is not going to change at all. All right, let's see who else we got in this chat. Give a little bit of shout out here and there. Blake, welcome, buddy. Ark, welcome. Clayton. I sound exactly like Crypto Bud. I don't know who Crypto Bud is, but I'll definitely have to research Crypto Bud. I'll jot that down on my piece of paper. But yeah, I for some reason, people that I know will kind of check out the live stream and they say that it does not sound like me at all for some apparent reason. TJ, welcome. DOHC-ness, I wouldn't even be able to pronounce that. Duhinus. I hope it all drops low so we can reach new all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, it's going to drop. It's, like I said earlier, we are going to start making lower lows. And when I mean lower lows, I don't mean lower lows, going back 2-3 years. I mean lower lows from what they just hit the other day. With Bitcoin getting down to, it's a 1756. Ethereum or Ether getting down to 130 bucks on GDAX. So, I mean, they could hit lower lows, but we'll see about this weekend. Because last weekend it was a sell-off, and I'm sure this weekend is going to kind of be a repeat of the same process again. Doc, all right, Docness. But yeah, so let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll do my best to get to them. And like I said, if you're a first-time viewer, welcome to this channel. Don't forget to be to keep the chat active and to talk. Just say what's up. It doesn't hurt at all. And then if you haven't subscribed yet, so definitely click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. And then feel free to follow us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of the cryptocurrencies. And I'm actually going to start with what you guys asked me to take a look at, or some of you asked me to take a look at on Monday, and I just didn't have the time to do it. So instead of me hopping on, right on LTC or Ethereum or Bitcoin, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Dash, Dimecoin, if I even have access to it, and then Verge as well too. But let's go ahead and take a look at CoinMarketCap real quick, and we're going to see where Dimecoin is listed at. But 83 billion, 83.3 billion. So it's definitely come up from that. I think it was about 65 billion was the market cap. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. I don't think this is accurately displaying the market cap. There we go. It's showing 73, but I thought it touched. Yeah, there we go. 66.1 billion market cap is what it touched. And if we really look at this, you know, in a little detail, you know, where we had the first big run up, and then of course we had that correction back in when was it? May 28th. You know, it dropped it to, it was actually under 70 billion. If I can get this thing to work properly, it's showing 70.9 billion, but it was definitely a little under that. It actually did go under 70 billion. Let me look at maybe the 1 year chart to see if it shows it, because that was a drop there. Yep. So 64, you know, 0.2 billion, and it actually got right down to 62.49 billion. So that would have been a good support line. Looking at that and saying, you know what, when it did correct after it had a really nice run up, what did it correct to? Total market cap. It corrected right to 64, and when it did correct here and had a nice dead cat bounce, and I'll still call this a dead cat bounce, you know, we did come right down to 62.4, 62.5 billion market cap. So, you know, that's showing us, you know, that there is support at that market cap. And I mean, to go from 112 billion to 62 billion, I mean, that's a lot, you know, 50% drop just about. So that's huge. But yeah, BTC still has that dominance of 40, 45. So, and I think it'll still maintain that dominance. Dime coin, let's see where you are. Hopefully this isn't another chain coin. Breck, Raphael, welcome guys. Joe Mama, what is up, buddy? Raphael, who hasn't slept in a while? I know, man, with the cryptocurrency market, you know, it's you really got to tailor your sleep habit to what the market does. And ECH does that exact same thing. You know, he kind of tailors it to, you know, where he sees the most volatility. And, you know, I think he's up at like 3:30 my time, where he's able to see some of these dips that are happening. All right, so Dime Coin, ooh, 31%. Let's see what market she's on. Yeah, nothing that I have access to. Mainly, you know, exchanges that, you know, that's where coins kind of go to die. Let me see if I can even get a free access to this exchange. Yeah, and if a lot of you guys didn't know, you know, if you go to Bittrex, you don't need an account to look at their charting system. Same thing with Poloniex as well, too. I got to register. No, I don't want to register. All right, I guess we're going to be kind of left with looking at the crappy chart that they have on CoinMarketCap. Oof, a lot of volatility here. A lot of up and down swings. I mean, this is pretty ugly. It's worse than a roller coaster ride. Yeah, this chart isn't even cooperating properly. It's basically telling me not to even look at it. Yeah, I mean, if you could pick this up cheap, and I mean, when I say cheap, I mean like, you know, 1 Satoshi. It can't go any lower than 1 Satoshi. But yeah, I can't even figure out the math to figure out what the price is in BTC, because it's giving me some 1.722 E-9. The 5 cents, it looks like it's reached 4 cents. You know, what was the all-time low? 2 cents. Let's see if she even got to, well, I shouldn't say cents because it's 0.00002. Yeah, then it just basically falls. It probably fell to nothing. Yeah, considering we have a 0.000001, and then it's just basically some mathematical equation that I just can't figure out in my head, figure out what the actual price is in USD or even in BTC. But yeah, I would find out, you know, depending on what exchange you're using, find out what the lowest price that it was at. And that's if you're interested in Dime Coin, which I I would not be interested in Dimecoin, to be honest with you. And just putting in a low ball offer at that price, you know, and if it happens to be 1 Satoshi, that's great. It can't go any lower. I mean, it's only going to go higher. It's going to get pumped eventually. So, I mean, if you see this for 1 Satoshi, yeah, there's no risk involved. And, well, I shouldn't say that, because in the sense that they could shut down operation and kind of take off, and then, you know, you lost 1 Satoshi basically, you know, depending on how many coins you bought per coin. But yeah, I mean, 1 Satoshi, you can't go wrong at all. But I wouldn't hold too long, to be honest with you. But yeah, not much info on Dimecoin, so I do apologize for not having a good amount of information for that. All right, so let's go ahead and get on Bittrex, and we will take a look at Verge as well as Dash. Actually, I'm going to take a look at Dash on a different platform. How about the pop back to 265? On what exchange did it get to 265? Because it got to 258 on Bitfinex. And I'm assuming you're talking about Ether. And then I forget on what it got to on GDAX. 249.60. I'm sorry, 249. Yeah, 249.40 is what it got to. That was a high. So 265. I'm not sure what exchange it got to on 265. But yeah, it had a nice dead cat bounce. It really did. Verge is I don't even know. It's under a penny, that's for sure. Low 116 Satoshis. Let's see if this thing is flatlined. Definitely hasn't flatlined. I would be patient with this. I would be very patient with it. Don't go chasing it. Let it come to you. You know, check to see if she breaks 76 Satoshis. I think that's 76. Yeah, 76 Satoshis. If she breaks 76 Satoshis, you know, then I would definitely be keeping an eye out on 33 Satoshis or 30 Satoshis. That might be a good entry. Not to go all in, just in case she does break the 33 Satoshis and she actually comes down to where she started taking off from, and that would be right around the 15 Satoshi range. So yeah, I would be patient with this. I wouldn't go chasing it, to be honest with you. Volume, yeah, I mean, 788 is not bad. That is not bad for the volume at all. But yeah, let them come to you. Don't go chasing them. So 84 Satoshis is kind of what she touched here and had a nice bounce. So I would definitely keep an eye on that 76 Satoshis to see if she breaks it or she consolidates at that price point. And if she consolidates at that price point, you know, she'll get a nice little pop, but you know, it's a dead cat bounce. And then she could just kind of start breaking newer lows. Let's see what the all-time low might have been on this. But yeah, I won't spend too much time on this, to be honest with you. One Satoshi was a low that it touched. So, I mean, you know, whoever took advantage of buying that at 1 Satoshi has made a lot of money, because you can't get any lower than 1 Satoshi. I mean, so, I mean, yeah, if you find anything at 1 Satoshi, yeah, I would start diversifying and putting a little bit into it. You know, it might be a long-term hold, but, you know, that long-term hold is going to pay off. And when it pays off, it's going to pay off significantly. You know, it's just not going to go to 3 Satoshis and then kind of pull right back down to 1. Yeah, it might do it for a little bit, but, you know, if you have a strong stomach and this is kind of a long-term thing for you, you know, buying it at 1 Satoshi and then putting in a sell price, you know, maybe in increments, you know, put one in for 100 Satoshis and then one for, you know, 150 Satoshis and another one for 200 Satoshis, just to kind of start selling in increments if it does decide to take that ripper. But yeah, to go from 1 Satoshi to 100 Satoshis, I mean, that's impressive. I mean, even if you would have sold here at 76 Satoshis from 1 Satoshi, and then before it decided to kind of really pull back down a little bit to that 33 Satoshi. So that would be a good entry if I was looking at this and if she decides to come back down. But yeah, 1 Satoshi, anything in the 1 Satoshi range. And we've seen them before. You know, we've seen red in the 2, 3, 4 Satoshi range. And You know, it blew up to about 250, maybe more Satoshis. All right, so let's get out of that one. So I'll look at some of the comments, and then we'll take a look at Dash, and then we'll definitely really analyze, you know, some of the popular cryptocurrencies that are really dropping the market down, and you know, that happens to be, you know, the top 3 basically. And I don't mean the top 3 in market cap, including Ripple. I don't really include Ripple in that the top tier. You got no sleep, Joe Mama. That's not good, man. You got to get some sleep. I mean, I would love to be up 4 a.m., 3:30 a.m., but then I would be dragging for these live streams. I mean, yeah, I drink a lot of coffee, but I would need like an adrenaline shot. Raphael, let's see. Anyone know what exchanges allow depositing a fiat? Yeah, there's a good amount of them. GDAX, what else? You can't join GDAX because you're in South America. Gemini. I did a video on Gemini, and I kind of forget what countries they're in, but that was the video that I did was a while back. And yeah, I kind of outlined or listed the countries that they operate out of, but I don't remember if South Africa was one of them, to be honest with you. But you know, Kraken does you know, USD deposits, of course GDAX, Coinbase. So if you can't sign up for GDAX, well, I'm assuming you can't sign up for Coinbase as well too, because if you sign up for Coinbase, you have automatic access to GDAX. Bitfinex right now has suspended their USD deposits withdrawals, but you know, really Gemini, Kraken, and GDAX or Coinbase are the ones that I know of, and I'm sure there are a couple other ones as well too. And if you guys know them, definitely help out Raphael. Yeah, and if you guys have a very important question to ask me, you know, have it stand out, because it's kind of hard for me to kind of look at the live chat and be able to respond to a question. You know, so if you do, I don't know, put emojis on there or put put at CryptoTraders Room, and then I know that question is specifically geared towards me, and I can respond to it. I sound super wired. Man, I don't know. Well, this is kind of my third cup of coffee, so I usually like to drink, you know, the darkest, the boldest coffee that Starbucks offers. You know, the stronger, the better. So usually before this live stream, I already got 3 cups of coffee in me, and I'll, you know, if I had a case of Red Bull, that would definitely put me over the edge. Let me see if I can get to some of these comments. Yeah, local BTC, man, you're probably paying a premium for that, Raphael. Probably a premium. Can I look at Quark? Quark? I've never even heard of Quark. I'll put that on the list. Yeah, if there isn't enough volume on a coin, and you end up getting, I mean, if it's one Satoshi and doesn't have volume, then, you know, it's a long-term hold. But yeah, stay away from coins, especially if you don't plan on holding them long-term, if they don't have volume. If you're looking to just day trade, swing trade, you know, hold for a day or two, and there's no volume, there's no sense of trading it. You're going to be holding it for a while. You know, you want to trade something that has the volatility, has the momentum, has that roller coaster up and down swings, and that's mainly geared towards day traders, not long-term investors. We're saying up or downtrend. If this is in regard to the overall market, it's definitely downtrend. Yes, you know, we had that nice dead cat bounce. You know, we haven't broken those lows that we previously just set a couple days ago. So, but you know, they will be set. You know, closer to Friday, Saturday, they'll be set, and then, you know, hopefully, you know, when Monday starts, or really Sunday at midnight Eastern time zone, we should hopefully see a nice uptick. Yeah, there are a lot of exchanges that will now allow you to withdraw or deposit BTC. I think a lot of them are probably starting July 31st, to be honest with you. But rule of thumb, you know, I would probably not send any or ask anybody to send me any, you know, probably, you know, 4 days to 5 days prior to this user-activated soft fork. But yeah, there are a lot of exchanges that are kind of freezing withdrawals and deposits on BTC. And GDAX, Coinbase is definitely one of them. Big pumps and dumps don't know what to do. Yeah, dude, you got to be careful. I mean, you know, you got to remember who controls this market. We don't control this market. You know, there's a group of big money that's controlling this market. Wells, whatever you want to call them, institutions, possibly hedge funds. Yeah, so they control this market, and they can dictate exactly how far they want it to go down and where they want to support it. And I'm sure somebody has the right money, they can buy that type of data, where retail investors like myself and everybody else that's probably on this live stream, they can find out exactly where are we stacked up to buy. So, I'm sure with Ethereum, they didn't want it to get to 100. There's probably a lot of people stacked up at that $100 price point to buy. So what do? They bring it down to 130 and they start buying at 130 to bring it back up, causing everybody that was waiting to buy at $100 to buy it a little higher if you decided to buy it. But yeah, I mean, they know when they want to bring this market up, and and they're all in cahoots, I'm sure. Saya coin, I will put that on the list. And if I don't cover some of these coins that you guys are asking me to cover on this live stream, I do have kind of like a running tally, first in, first out. That's the way I'll kind of treat it, for me to take a look at some of these coins. But, I probably won't have time to look at a lot of these coins, but if I do, I will most definitely take a look at it for you guys. Down, you would say? Yes, of course, man. Definitely down. Segwit was only 44%. Yeah, and he's what, 75, I think? You're building ETH, or you're buying ETH. I'm assuming you're buying ETH on drops. Yeah, and that's the best thing to do, is you want to start accumulating on these drops. When people are panic selling, that's the best time to buy. And when people are suffering from that FOMO and they want to start buying and buying and buying, and that's when you want to start selling little increments of your position to lock in those profits, but not to sell everything, but just to sell a little bit here and there. Sitecoin's not really stable. Yeah, I haven't looked at the chart in a long time, but I've bought it, numerous times in the past, on Poloniex, buying it at like 28 Satoshi, selling it at 30, buying it at 30 Satoshi, selling it at 31. It wasn't doing anything at all for a while, and then all of a sudden decided to pop. You know what? My wife was saying that exact same thing, Kay Koslis. Yeah, believe it or not, light roast has the most caffeine. So yeah, I do like the caffeine, but I also like the bitterness of the coffee. I guess that's why I like the dark roast. Just like I like bitter beer. I like the pale ales. I like the Sierra Nevadas, and this is the most bitter beer. It's a sipping beer. It's not a chugging beer. So if I feel like I'm only gonna have one beer, I'll get the most bitter beer that's out there, like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale or any type of IPAs. Ripple, where would I buy it? You know what? I said I was going to stay away from Ripple. There are some coins that I'm interested in on Bitfinex, and I'll talk about those. I do got to go get my phone though, so I got to be able to log in to Bitfinex. Is Bitcoin, and thank you so much for using @CryptoTraders, because that kind of stands out, and I'm able to kind of see that comment. Is Bitcoin and Ether still in a downtrend? Yes, definitely. Yeah, they made it up from their low. Ether went from 130 to 258. Let's just say it went to 260. That's 100% profit, 100% gain. Things really just don't go up 100% without having a correction, and it's 100% within a matter of very short period of time. And a lot of people are just, they kind of suffer from that FOMO, and they're like, oh, it's going up, I need to buy it. You got to remember, it's up 100%. It's going to have that correction. It's logical when it goes up so fast. Now, if this would have taken, going from 130 to 260, let's just say 260, I'm just, making the math easy because it hit 258 on Bitfinex. If this was gradually doing that within a period of 1 week, 2 weeks, possibly 3 weeks to get to that level, yes, I would say, you know what, this is a nice sustained uptick, a nice movement to the upside, and it's just crawling nicely. We're not going to have a violent dip, but going up from, let me kind of look at I'll bring this chart over on Bitfinex. So on Bitfinex, I got to 130, but on GDAX, I did get to 130. So Bitfinex 136, GDAX 130. And it hit 258 on Bitfinex, but that was on the 16th, and it basically touched that 258 on the 18th. So basically 2 days. Within 2 days, it's going up 100%. Logic says it's going to dip. This is definitely a nice dead cat bounce. It really is 100% profit in 2 days. I mean, and that's why we love cryptocurrency, because they can do that. They have the ability to do it, especially if you're watching this and you're able to start taking positions, because it's hard to catch that bottom. You can't catch 136, but maybe you got lucky and you caught 140, 150, even from 150 to 250. I mean, those are significant gains, but you got to, keep it in the back of your head that what goes up so fast, it's only going to come down. Now, it's not coming down as fast as it should, because it hasn't really been, it's not the weekend yet, but, once it gets closer to the weekend, I can see this thing kind of grinding down a little bit and possibly getting to that 150. And maybe we'll get a correction at the 150, or they'll just sell and will intensify because people will panic and it'll actually drive it below the 136 and possibly start making all new time lows. Not all-time lows, but new lows ever since the low that it hit. All right, a couple more comments, and then I will get my phone and log into to Bitfinex. Yeah, Andreas, that's exactly what my wife said. Exactly, and she doesn't. I mean, she drinks crap coffee, unfortunately. The crappier the coffee, the better it is for her. I mean, it can be like diluted, it can be weak, it could be like a little drop of coffee, and then the rest is water, basically. But yeah, she's dealt with coffee for for the past 10 years, so that's exactly what she tells me. But I don't know, man. That dark roast, that's why maybe I have to drink a lot of it because it's less caffeinated, because they've actually roasted everything off, like you said. All right, a couple more questions, and then I definitely want to get my phone and get onto Bitfinex. Blonde roast will kick that ass, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have that bitter taste, So the more of a bitter taste that it has, the stronger that my mentality, my mind thinks it is. Do I think GDAX freezing Bitcoin trades on August 1st will cause a price drop? Hopefully nobody has Bitcoins on GDAX at that time. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they either moved it to a hardware wallet, they moved it to a paper wallet. But yeah, get it off those exchanges. Get it off. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, let's just say hypothetically GDAX decides not to support the fork and they're actually going to support, Bitcoin Core. So you still have your Bitcoin Core at a probably reduced price, but they're probably not going to give you Bitcoin Unlimited. So they might receive the Bitcoin Unlimited, but they're probably not going to give it to you. They will probably move it to a different exchange and sell it, because I'm sure Coinbase or GDAX, they're not just selling on their own exchange. I'm sure they have an account at different exchanges to be able to sell. So yeah, get it off those exchanges. So I don't know. We'll see what it does with the volume. Because I don't think anybody is going to be buying Bitcoin, because it's going to be on that exchange basically. And people are trying to get it off in any exchange that it's on and be able to protect it themselves, so that, if the fork does happen, or, user activated soft fork, then, at least they're protected. Yes, if it does fork, you will have both coins. So let's just say hypothetically, Bitcoin right now is $1,000. When it forks, you have Bitcoin Core at $500, and you have the same amount of Bitcoin Unlimited at $500, and then it's basically a kind of wait and see this, who's going to support what coin. Where's everybody going to flock to? Are they going to support the original, or are they going to support the fork? So money will possibly shift from one and go to the other. More than likely, I think people will support, Bitcoin Core, so that, people will actually sell Bitcoin Unlimited, drive that price down, and put money into Bitcoin Core, which would cause Bitcoin Core to kind of go up, or it could be the other way around, flip-flop, vice versa. So who knows? I mean, we'll have to kind of pay attention to it to see exactly what's going to happen with the price. Where are traders going to be flocking to? Right now, it's very hard to say. Arrogant Bastard, yes. Oh, man. Mad Elf. Usually I can only get that around Christmas time. Arrogant Bastard, though, dude, I'm a huge fan of it. And that's definitely a bitter beer. It definitely gives you that bitter beer face. But yes, it's definitely a sipping beer, not a chugging beer. If I'm chugging beer, I'm at a Penn State football tailgate. It's usually Corona, something light, something that I can drink a lot of, because normally you're out there tailgating in the hot sun, and drinking, arrogant bastard in the hot sun, man, that'll lay you out. You'll be done. Lights out. You've been wanting to buy 1,000 Ripple. If it goes to even 1, I don't think it's going to go to 1, bud. Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't buy something hoping that it goes to 1. I mean, there is no strategy in hoping and wishing something gets to a level that it's never been at. It's got a huge hump at 42 cents. So can I get to 42 cents? Not anytime soon. I think we have a better chance of SAN. What else? SAN, IOTA. We have a better chance of those two getting to 42 cents before, before Ripple or XRP. We'll get to that 42 cent range. So, I mean, if you buy it, just keep it in the back of your head that this is going to be a long-term hold. And if you have, the money to just kind of say, you know what, I'm just going to put in there. I'm not even going to think about it, and I'll just put in a very high sell offer, like limit offer, that if it ever does get there in X amount of years, that I know it'll be executed. Big correct with the bounce. Big correction with the bounce. Yeah, there's always going to be a correction with any type of bounce. All right, 3 more, a couple more comments, and then I got to get my phone. What is my signal that downtrend has turned around and broke the 2,800 something high? Oh man, I don't think it's going to touch the 2,800. ECS and I have had a very lengthy conversation about the price of a Bitcoin, or really some of these cryptocurrencies, and where they could possibly turn around. And ECS hit it on the head. I mean, he said 2,400. At 2,400, we are going to have a correction. I mean, for it to go from 1,750 to 2,400, I mean, those are significant gains. For it to get up to 2,800, we're asking for a lot more. We're asking for Segwit to be activated and to be 100% right now, not on the 29th. Not on the 30th. We need that to happen right now, the second, to say yes. Miners are supporting Segwit, and they're not going to mess around with the hard fork and everything else that's possibly going to be going on. But it could get there if they say, you know what, Segwit is activated. We could get there, and I think there might have been some fake news out. I need to research it a little bit. I think there might have been some fake news out to drive the price from 1,758 to 2,400, and I think that had to do something with Segwit, being adopted. And we don't know that yet. If and when it does, then that's when we're actually going to see the turnaround, and hopefully it's not too late, for that to happen. But it needs to happen soon, for this to get up to 2,800 bucks. So the news will play a huge factor in it. And with the news, and as long as we're above our moving averages, our 200, 150 days, as well as the 9 and 21 days, I mean, we'll be good. Right now we're definitely under our smaller moving average, and she is getting, she is basically touching that 50-day moving average. And if she starts really getting down to the 100 moving average, which is at 2257, and then the 200-day moving average, which is 2200, yeah, that could definitely spell a little bit of trouble. And that's when she could really crack and start making lower lows. Do I stop limit on Bitfinex? No, definitely not. No way. We haven't seen a flash crash yet on Bitfinex, and I don't want to be caught in that flash crash and doing a stop limit. Could cause it. Would cause me to have things executed pennies on the dollar. But yeah, stay away from stop limit. You're up to 10F. That's awesome. Keep stacking those coins. Yeah, Robert, definitely a good move. I mean, to get out of F at 365, dude. Yeah. I mean, I sold F. All along the way up to 400 bucks. I sold at 400, and then it started to correct, and I think it was like 320 bucks. I sold F, and then that was basically when I had I think I had 50 F, and then I was selling them in different increments. But yeah, that's dude. You got out at a great price. Can you short F and BTC? Yeah, as long as you have margin activated, Scott, on Bitfinex, you can definitely short. And if you don't have margin activated and it won't activate for you, I'm sure just shoot them an email to the support team. They'll get that taken care of. They're actually pretty good with their support. Rocky Mountain High. Good morning, buddy. Hope all is well. What do I think about IOTA? We'll definitely cover that, PK. But let me go ahead and get my phone so I can actually, log into Bitfinex because I'm not able to log into Bitfinex without my two-factor authentication. So I'm going to mute this for a couple seconds, and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about the little delay there. As long as my phone will cooperate with me. All right, much better layout. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Dash because I did promise, and I forget who it was, that I would take a look at Dash. Yeah, the Dash came down to 120, and I mean same thing with Zcash. Zcash came down to like 130. Now I mean it's kind of following the same trend as everything else, where it's up. So Zcash is up to 200, but Dash is actually it's recovered nicely, just like everything else. But you got to remember, these are dead cat bounces, and when the dead cat bounce happens, it happens across everything. It's just not Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin that are having a nice dead cat bounce. Everything will. But yeah, if we start making lower lows, I mean, yeah, this could easily touch that 120 easily and get to 100. Same thing with with Ether, they could easily do it. But yeah, this is great. I mean, on this downtrend, if you were watching this, I mean, we were just way below all of our moving averages. Our 200, 150 day moving average, and then I think 9 and 18 is what I have this set to. Yep, 9 and 18. But right now, I mean, we are in a nice channel. We are in a nice channel on the upside. But let's see where that resistance is. Why she turned around at 170-ish. Was that 170? 170, 40, 170, 50. So she turned around at 170, 50, and that had to do it with a lot of consolidation. So that would have indicated to me, what, there is resistance here, and that's basically the same thing with a lot of these cryptocurrencies. They've hit that point to where they consolidated, and before they actually ended up really dropping and dropping heavily. I mean, this went from basically 270-ish. I'm sorry, from 170, 175-ish, all the way down to 120. So if you really draw that line, right across, that would have indicated to you, what, it's going to have a hard time. And then you can really verify that by looking at the order book and saying, okay, what, at that price point, there are sellers that are stacked up. So the probability of that being a very strong resistance is very probable. Especially, when you plot out your support and resistance, the only way to really verify that you plotted out, those support and resistance at a good probability is to look at the order book and see exactly where they're stacked up. And when you do look at the order book, you want to make sure that it's not a fake wall and those orders aren't coming on and falling off, like we do rapidly. We see on GDAX. I've seen 3,000, 4,000 Litecoins just rapidly moving through the order book, and us human beings are not that fast to be able to have it rapidly move through that order book. But let's just say, hypothetically, some apparent reason that this isn't that dead cat bounce that I called, and we still kind of see a nice uptick to the upside. Let's just say hypothetically it does do that. Then I mean, she is going to have some sort of resistance at that 210 and possibly and 220. If she breaks 210, 225 will definitely be in sight. But 225, I would be looking to lock in some profits. Let's go ahead and enlarge this a little bit. I think that 225 was really its all-time high. And this chart is just, it's slow with loading, very slow. But yeah, this is not indicating it's oversold. It's not indicating it's overbought. Well, I mean, it was, basically when it touched that, 170, RSI was at just a little over 70. Right over here was, indicated that it was way over 170, 75 basically. But that was just a nice little fake out that it basically had, and then kind of ripped up a little higher. But yeah, this is, I firmly believe that the RSI on this downtrend here will get close to that 30. And then, we could have a nice little dead cat bounce again, and then possibly have a nice drop, testing that 120 level. But let's go ahead and even take a look at in the order book at that 120 level, and see exactly how many buyers we got stacked up, or even how many, where sellers might be stacked up. All right, we got 54 people on this live stream. I do appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. And if you find this information helpful, help us out. Click that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification, especially if you're new to this. And yeah, don't be shy. Say what's up. Andre Francesco, yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. If Bitcoin is going to take a huge dive, everything's going to follow suit. Everything follows the trend of Bitcoin. Everything will come down. We've seen it. If you really do, side-by-side comparison on any cryptocurrency in comparison to Bitcoin, you're going to see that it kind of follows the same trend, same suit. And if I have a little bit of time, we'll do that. I'll get 2 charts up, and we'll look at the trend. It really doesn't matter what cryptocurrency it is. We'll see the same trend. All right, so let's see. 120, that's what we're looking at, the 120 price point. How many buyers do we got? I'm surprised, not much. That 120 does not have a good support. Yeah, we got 222 at 159. I'm very surprised that 120 does not have more than one person, looking to buy 12. Actually, I'm sorry, we do. I don't know why I was, okay, so it's 120.1. Somebody's trying to hop in line. But yeah, 536, 5 buyers. So that's a good amount of ether. I'm sorry, not ether, Dash. That's a good amount of Dash at that 120 price point. So that 120 is going to have a good amount of support, 536. And people could start hopping in either at that price point or start hopping in at, 120, 11. That's what I would do. I would actually hop in at 120.11 because there is no one at 120.11. I would be the only one. And if I'm the only one, and I'm first in, first out, even if people hop in on top of me, I'm still going to be first in, or I'm going to be first out considering I was first in if it gets to that level. So that's always what you want to look at. If you see some, a lot of buyers are stacked up at a very specific price, why try to hop in on top of them? You want to hop. Basically, you want to jump in front of that line and put your bid in at a penny less, or 2 cents less, or 10 cents less, whatever it might be, depending on who else is trying to stack up ahead of them. But yeah, I would not put an order in for 120. It might not get executed. There might be a total of 400 Dash coins that are sold at that 120 price point, and of course, I'm not going to be first in, first out. So from there, it could have a nice correction. So you always want to hop in, if you are looking to take in a position, you always want to find where the biggest buyers are stacked up and cut in line, hop in front of them. Yeah, because then you have a better chance of having that executed. All right, so 1,400 Dash at $100. So somebody, is expecting this thing to crack that 120 if it doesn't hold that support line and get down to 100. A $20 drop, it's not significant at all. It's not that much. It could easily do it. So we do have a good amount that are stacked up, 1,400, even at 105 for 1151. Now, if you have a deep pocket, instead of stacking up on one price point, you would stack up exactly like what they're doing. So this could be, one person. Of course, there's other people that are hopping in on top of them, but it could be one person that's kind of spreading out their buy orders. So they they put in a buy order at 105, put in a buy order at 100. Let's take a look at 95. 1,100 at 95. Let's take a look at 90. 201 at 90. So that person might have run out of capital to utilize. But yeah, you'll see, sometimes, like, and you can just pick out it's one person. They will spread them out nicely, either, a difference of $5, a difference of $10, but they'll be putting in the same amount of purchase or the same amount of sell, in increments of $5, just to not kind of draw that alarm. But if you know how to look out for it, you can say, okay, you know what, I'm seeing this pattern here where it's just really one buyer that's putting in, a thousand dash coins that they're looking to buy in increments of $5. And you can easily pick out that might be probably one person, and that probability is a lot higher than having a bunch of people stacked up and you trying to determine if that's one person or not. But let's take a look and see if anybody's got some crazy low ball offers. Nothing too crazy. $5.25 for 2,000, $1.02 for 5,000, $1.10 for 5,000. So not too crazy. Litecoin, what are you doing today? 42.28. I think she got close to $40. But let me take a look at the comment, and then yeah, so we're going to get back to looking at Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, if we have time. And then if I do have time at the end, I'll definitely take a look at SI Coin and Quark, if that's even how you pronounce it. But first, I'll try to get to some of these, a little bit of the comments. Let's see, Andre, you're saying, or it can happen that only Bitcoin gets hit hard and the others might go down, but not that much. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have some of the altcoins go down a lot. You're going to have some of them, not go down too much. You're probably going to have the ones that are basically scam coins go down the most in comparison to, the coins that have a better outlook. They actually have a product, instead of not really offering anything and saying, hey, you know what, this is what we're working on. This is what we want to develop. But yeah, if the if the development team, if the community is very active on it, then they'll support it. So not everything's going to go down. That you will have some that will drop heavily. Those are mainly the scam coins, and it's a perfect opportunity to, even though they're scam coins, there's still opportunity to make money, especially if you can get it cheap. Like I said, 1 Satoshi, 2 Satoshis, 3 Satoshis. I mean, if you get it at 1 Satoshi, it's not going to go any lower. Yeah, maybe when the market really starts dropping, I'll make that a point. Anything that's in the 1 Satoshi range for me to throw, I don't know, 0.1 BTC at it, something to that extent. But yeah, if you guys find anything in the 1 Satoshi range and I have access, to that on an exchange, let me know, because I'll throw a little bit at it. It's not going to go any lower. I mean, they could crash and burn and shut down operation, but that's the least that could happen. When will BTC hit 2,500? Yeah, I think she's got to make newer lower lows. We'll have one. I firmly believe we'll have one nice, crazy more dip. To possibly 1,600. 1,500, 1,250. I think those are the resistance, and we can take a look at them. Somebody asked me on the video, what the resistance was. And actually, I'll pull up that video. I forget how I responded to him or her. I think it was on Monday's video. And as I'm pulling this up, yeah, if you guys don't know, BK Crypto Trader, awesome guy, awesome charter. He's actually grown his YouTube channel to be something crazy. I mean, I think he's going to like 7,000 subscribers. I haven't looked at it recently. But him and I are going to be doing a little bit of collaboration sometime next week. I'm not sure when, where he basically he's invited me over to his channel, and we're going to do a little bit of interview. I don't really know the format of it yet, but he asked me, if I could hop on his channel and do an interview, and I was like, dude, definitely, I would definitely do it. So kind of keep an eye out on that. I'll post it on Facebook and as well as Twitter when that time does happen. But yeah, we are working on collaborating sometime next week on doing a kind of a AMA, Q&A AMA type of live stream. All right, let's see if I can find this comment about BTC. Okay, here we go. It was David. So David was asking, where is his actual question? Because he left me 2 questions. Basically saying, thank you. I'm learning a lot from your videos. He doesn't have technical analysis skills, so wanted to ask, Right now, BTC is floating around 2,200 USD. If it drops, what is the next support for it? And I kind of looked at the chart before I really gave him a response to kind of look at where the support is. And basically, what did I tell him? Where is this comment? Yeah, in regards to BTC support levels, it looks to be, first area support is at 1660, second area support 1350, third area support 1235. So, if we are having a nice correction and it starts really breaking, that 1758 starts making newer lower lows. I mean, those are really the levels that we're looking at, the 1660. If it breaks 1660, 1350 is in sight. 1350 breaks 1235, somewhere in that range, give or take. And that really should be the bottom, before we kind of see a nice uptick to the upside. Now we are going to have little minor corrections, if it gets to that 1235 and starts getting back up, we are going to have little minor corrections, little minor dips, but those dips are going to happen on an uptrend. But yeah, that 1235 is easily attainable. It is, even though we're at $1,000 off from it right now, it's easily attainable. Bitcoin has shown us she can go down $800, she can go down $900, and it could easily get there, in my opinion. But yeah, I also responded to him. I said, really, I mean, just by looking at those is not really the best way to determine that. You also have to look at the order book to determine if the probability of those being a good support is high or not. But those are the levels that I was kind of looking at if I was looking to take a position in BTC, especially a long-term position. And I think this is the opportunity for us to, get in at these lows, because we might not see these lows again. Basically, once winter starts, once summer ends up dying down, and when we can start getting to fall, I guarantee you this market is going to be a whole different market than currently what we're seeing now. But yeah, I forget who that was in response to. Andreas, yeah. When will BTC hit 2,500? Yeah, it's got to have that correction first. 2,400 was really the top that ECS when he did his technical analysis. I mean, he hit it on the head, $2,400. We're going to have a correction from that price point, and that's exactly what we did. And this is a 30-minute chart on GDAX. So basically, 2,400 corrected right down to 2,287, having a nice little dead cat bounce. And we're going to see these, but yeah, over the long period of time, she's going to start grinding, especially once it gets closer to the weekend. Where's the membership info? So basically, if you go down to the bottom of this video, it's not hyperlinked for some apparent reason, but it's under Stay Connected. It does say website, and you can either just copy it and paste it, or just go to CryptoTradersRoom.com, answer a little quick questionnaire, submit it, and then I do have some guys that are going to be taking a look at that, and then sending out invitations. So we don't send out invitations to just everybody that's filling out that form. We're very selective of who we're choosing to join the general chat. But yeah, highly recommend it. And then you get put on our mailing list, so if something does happen, we're able to send out an email to notify everybody that signed up for our mailing list. You put an order in for 190. 190. I'm assuming Ether, not BTC. Yeah, because I don't think it'll get to $190. That'd be awesome if it did. That would be awesome. All right, let me see if I can get to some of these comments. There's a lot of comments, so if I don't get to your comment, I do apologize. But I definitely want to thank you for leaving those comments. Oni, what is up, buddy? Great to see you on here, man. Thank you so much. Where's some of the talk of adding BTC to USD to applications, E-Trade and such? What will this do? I don't think E-Trade is going to be adding BTC. I don't think any U.S. financial market exchanges are going to be adding any cryptocurrencies, to be honest with you. I don't think Wall Street, wants cryptocurrency to succeed. I mean, it's taken money away from them. It has. I mean, look at how much the market cap has gone up. From the market cap being, under $10 billion to, hitting 112 billion. That's money that's flowing out of the stock market. So I don't think they would probably allow E-Trade or any other U.S. financial institutions, that are traded or, used as a platform to trade, will allow any type of cryptocurrencies on there. Yeah, so I haven't read anything of any talks or heard of any talks, about them adding BTC USD. The Dubai Review, welcome, buddy. You missed the earlier part of the stream, then you could always rewind it and watch it. Why are you calling it the second wave drop? Price don't seem to be dropping right now. No, I mean, you're not going to see a flash crash drop, but you're going to see it gradually grind down. And, we hit that 2400 basically, very close to it. It did hit 2400 on Bitfinex. But 2396 is almost 24. But yeah, I mean, we're having a nice little dead cat bounce here, and it's going to grind back down. It's going to have a nice dead cat bounce. It's going to grind down. It's going to do exactly what it has done. If I can zoom out of here, I got to look at maybe the 15-minute chart. It's going to do exactly what it has done, right over here when it was basically at 2350. It just continuously grinded down with having a nice little uptick, and then coming right back down, little uptick, coming right back down, and finally just got exhausted where people were panicking and being like, man, this is just downtrending. Yeah, we're getting these little upticks, for me to kind of minimize my loss, but it's not much of an uptick, and I'm just going to go ahead and get out. And then, I mean, right over here, let's see if I can put a circle at that spot. If I can put it, if this will cooperate with me. Yeah, not what I want to do here. For some reason I don't have my lines to be able to draw out. But yeah, but basically right over here, we're looking at July 15th, basically July 16th, let's just say, because it was basically at midnight. Midnight is when it decided to kind of turn this thing around from over $2,000, $2,040 down to 1756. So that could easily happen again. But yeah, this is just it's we're getting ready for the second wave of a drop. We had the basically first wave. Looks like we had the first wave, had a very nice uptick. I mean, this is nice. $600 is nothing. Nothing too small. I mean, it's definitely a nice gain to the upside. But yeah, this is going to be the second wave. So we had the first wave, and we had the uptick, and now this is going to be the second wave of a drop. Now, who knows? I mean, is it going to start breaking lower lows? Breaking below that 1756? That's a possibility. Or could it just really get down to that 1800 and then kind of bounce right back up? But we are going to see a drop, especially close to this weekend. So that's why I kind of said that Dubai review. But yeah, and when I was doing Dubai review too, when I was doing when I talked about the bubble a while back, and you can probably go back and watch some of these videos, when we're really hitting that all-time high, and I was like, these really the price action is contradicting, what I'm saying. It really was that, we were in a bubble, but they were really contradicting it. So we had that short-term gains to the upside, before she really decided to come down. But yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for a while that, we were in a bubble, and that, these price movements is just really contradicting that we are in a bubble. Morning, chicken. All right, so let's see what else is going on here. What do we want to take a look at? GDAX or Bitfinex? But I'm still surprised that Ethereum is still holding above 200. And I said it a while back that she was having a hard time getting above 200. And when she did get above 200, she broke out with a vengeance at 258, and that was a nice break. That was a clear indication that, wow, you know what, she can sustain that, and it wasn't her touching the $200 level and then kind of breaking right back down. But everything was going up at that time, though. All right, so let's see, 42.34 on Bitfinex, 42.41 on GDAX. But considering I am on Bitfinex, we're going to go ahead and take a look at Bitfinex. So let me just switch out the chart or this my screen share to a different monitor. And I think I'm sharing Bitfinex currently right now. Let's see. Yes, it is on Bitfinex. But yeah, I mean, nice run for LTC. And I think, for anybody that's in LTC right now, I am still in LTC. I think, we're in a safer position than being in Bitcoin or Ethereum currently at the moment. Now, Ethereum is not going to go anywhere, guys. I mean, just remember that. I mean, there's always going to be money that's flowing into Ethereum when all these ICOs, are coming out. And there will be tons of ICOs that are going to be coming out. We're not done with ICOs at all. So money will flow back into Ethereum because people have to buy Ether in order to buy some of these ICO tokens. So, money will always flow into it. It is the foundation of all these ICOs. And when you have a foundation that these ICOs are being built on, it's not going anywhere. Now, the coins might disappear and take off, but the foundation will always be there. Somebody was asking me a question, you know what? And let me address that real quick. And I definitely have to get to Coinbase or GDAX in order to do it. It was Art. So, doesn't stop limit protect you? What am I missing? Not trading on margin. That's great that you're not trading on margin. Thank you so much for telling me that. All right, so you do have stop limits that you can use. So there's a couple different ways of using stop limits, and of course, GDAX has hid the best way of protecting yourself. So when you do a stop sell, you're basically putting in the price. Let's just say, I don't know. If the price dips to, I don't know, 41 bucks, let's just say, or that's my stop price. So I have 100 Litecoins, which I don't have 100 Litecoins. And I'm going to say, you know what, if the price drops to 41 bucks, I want you to execute everything. And that's basically a stop. It's basically you're indicating a stop price. But the stop price doesn't really protect you at 41 bucks, because if there is slippage where the price slips drastically below that $41, they're going to execute you at whatever it slips down to. Wherever their algorithm computers are able to match up, buy and sell orders, that's where they are going to match you up with, and they can match you up at whatever, $2, $3, $4, $5, if there is a violent crash that happened. And we've seen that happen with a lot of people with the Ether crash where, they bought it, like, let's just say at 100 bucks, and it was up to 360, and they said, oh, you know what, I'm going to put my stop loss at 300 bucks. And when it crashed heavily. It had a slippage. Some people's order got executed at $1. So they sold their Ether at $1 when they told the system, you know what, I want you to sell it at 300 bucks. So the other best way to protect yourself when you're using stop price is to put in a limit. So the limit part is what protects you. So I can say $40, so that the system knows that if this thing does drop, it's going to try to execute me at 41 bucks. That's a first set of execution. But if there is slippage, that it's only going to execute at $40, and it's going to stop at $40. And if it's not able to execute everything at $40, and there's a huge slippage to, let's just say, 10 bucks, you still have your coins, and your coins are not going to be executed below $40. And that's one thing that a lot of people have not used, is that stop limit sell price. They just usually use stop price. Stop price will not protect you. It's the stop price limit sell that will protect you. So you are exactly right. It's the stop limit that will protect you and nothing else. But yeah, thank you for asking that question. Let me see if I can get to some of these other comments. But yeah, 54 people, thank you so much. Don't forget to smash on that like button if you do find this information helpful. Feel free to leave me a comment when this video has been uploaded to YouTube, especially if there's something that you didn't like, or something that you want me to cover, or a different format that you would like me to take a look at. I mean, leave me a comment. I'm happy to receive any type of comments, whether they're good or bad, and I will not censor them. I'll definitely take it with a grain of salt, if it's a bad comment, and work on ways to improve it. So, don't be afraid of leaving a comment, even if it's bad. Scott, good morning, bud. Do I intraday trade or swing trade? I mean, I'll use different strategies. There's times where I've traded, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I've held on and I got out with a nice profit. I've swing traded, held it for a couple of days, held it for a week. I try not to hold anything for over a month unless I tell myself, you know what, this is a long-term hold. Let's just say, hypothetically, XRP, gets down to a penny. That's going to be a long-term hold. So I'm not going to swing trade that. I'm going to buy it and hold it long-term and see if it gets up to the 10, 15, 20 cent range. So yeah, there's not only one strategy that I will use. You were stopped out of ETC at 1550 last night, bought in at 1618, and it immediately went south. We'll take a look at ETC. Yeah, so you bought at, where's that comment again? 1618 immediately. Yeah, so And it's right at that price range right now, the 1550, you know, where you were stopped out. And normally, you know, when you're stopped out at just the wrong time when it's the actual bottom. And hopefully you didn't, you know, get rid of everything. Hopefully you just kind of, you know, sold a little bit of your position, maybe 10% of your position. And that's the best way to do it, is to not sell everything. Sell 10% of your position, because that might be the bottom that you're selling at before it makes a you know, a nice turnaround to the upside. You bought some, Joe Mama bought some at 218 and sold it at 228. That's perfect, dude. $10 per coin. Take those profits. Be happy with them. Pat yourself on the back. And I'm assuming this is recently, you know, when it started running. I would have looked at it and said, like, well, man, that's too high for me to buy. But no, dude, you got in, you got out of 228. I mean, it got to 250 something. So, you know, you got a slice of that pie. You really did. Looks like F is going back up. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have these little bounces. 230. I mean, I would like to see this thing get up to my level. It's got to get to above 320, 328 for me to kind of sell what I have and be happy with it. I mean, I would just basically kind of be breaking even at that 228 price range. Let's see. I'm missing some of these comments because it keeps scrolling up. Get out of IOTA at a high and invest in F. It supports so many altcoins. Yes, it does. You know, invest in the foundation, and that foundation is basically what's, you know, going to give you a better return, especially if you're a long-term holder. If you're a long-term holder, you know, you are going to be rewarded in the long run as long as you find, you know, that right foundation. So, and if we really talk about foundation and, you know, where these coins, you know, what platform they're being built on, I mean, the main one is of course Ethereum. Then you got Omni, you know. You got BitShares, Counterparty, ETC, Ethereum Classic, of course, Nubits, NXT, Waves, Burst. I mean, you know, those are really the foundations, the platform that a lot of these ICOs are being built on. And really, those are the ones that you want to kind of invest in. Yeah, I don't trust any cryptocurrency, Ivan, and I'm glad you don't trust them either. Yeah, it's a bear market, completely a bear market. Having these nice little upticks, it's a trap. That's really what it is. It's a bull trap. And a lot of people just say, oh, no, it's not. It's going up so high. You know, yeah, it's going up 100% on Ether. You know, what do you think it's going to do? You know, Bitcoin went up $600. What do you think it's going to do? It did that in 2 days. So it's going to come back down. Somebody did ask me about IOTA. Let me take a look at IOTA. And the reason why I like IOTA and I like SAN and I like, you know, OMG is they're just newly listed. And I like the price action. I like the price movement. And really, I can care less about the cryptocurrency. I just care about the price action, the movements that I'm seeing. And, you know, I mean, I was looking at these in the 15-cent range. SAN was 15 cents. OMG went down to 31 cents and then went up to almost 90 cents. I mean, those are significant gains. I don't have to fall in love with the cryptocurrency because, of course, we all know that the cryptocurrency is not going to love us back. But yeah, use it as a trading vehicle, trading tool. And when it starts making, you know, all-time lows, you know, it's going to have a nice bounce. And to go from 31 cents to almost 90 cents, yeah, pretty significant. EOS went down to 113 and then went up to like almost 190. IOTA went down to 15 cents, 16 cents, and went up to 31 cents. So, I mean, you know, the opportunity is there for 100% growth instead of me putting it into Litecoin and expecting Litecoin to go up, you know, $42 from where it is now to, you know, to make that 100%. You know, we have a better chance of, at least for me, on the platform that I'm using with IOTA, EOS, well, not EOS going up 100%, but IOTA, OMG, SAN going up 100%. Ripple is not going to go up 100% from here, but those other 3 cryptocurrencies do have the ability to go up 100%. A lot of altcoins are using Ether blockchain. Yeah, there's about, I could be wrong, 72, maybe more. But yeah, anybody that's playing, let me take a look at a different chart here. Anybody that's looking at or looking into getting into Litecoin, I mean, you know, it's going to provide those buying opportunities. And I'm surprised she hasn't really touched $40 yet. $40 would have been a great area to kind of look at. 37.61 ECS is saying, you know, and I think I have that order in the book. Let me see where it is. I think great minds think alike. Let's see. 35.78. Okay, so I got my order for 35.78. I think I did look at that 37.61 or 36.71. But yeah, those are great entries. I mean, if you can get this under $40, you know, it's a great entry. And that's kind of what I'm looking for right now is, you know, if she starts dipping under $40, is for me to really pay attention to it and find a great price point for me to get into where, you know, the support and the resistance are there, and you know, it's there in the order book. The probability of it being a great support is in the order book, and then, you know, that will gradually help me lower my cost average down to under $40, because currently my cost average is 42.50 at the current moment. ICO bubble, yeah, I mentioned that a while back, Oni. You're absolutely right, man. I mean, and the thing is, though, I mean, you know, all these ICOs, all these tokens that are coming out, they're receiving, you know, and I've said it before on the last live stream, they're receiving Ether. What do you think they're going to do with their Ether? You know, do you think they're going to hold on to it, or do you think they're going to dump it? I'm sure some of them have already dumped it at a very low price, and I'm sure, you know, as it starts making a nice move to the upside, that others are going to start dumping. Because you think about it, they receive Ether, you know, they're not receiving USD for the token. And I mean, they haven't really proven a concept yet. So a lot of these ICOs that are coming out, the concept has not been proven. They need to raise funds to develop that concept. And what are they going to do? I mean, they're going to sell for fiat. I mean, they need USD. They need to buy the equipment. They need to pay for the rental space, whatever it might be. You know, they need USD. So they're going to be selling. They might not be selling everything, but they're going to be selling in increments. And you know, if they receive a lot of Ether at a very high price and Ether starts to drop and drop and drop, and they need the capital, you know, to be able to sustain, you know, the projects that they're working on, they're going to dump it. They're going to sell. And that's the scary part about Ether. That is the scary, scary part, is that there's just so many tokens, Ether tokens, that are being bought to support these ICOs. And it's, you know, those ICOs are just going to be funneled right back to the exchange and sold. But yeah, so, you know, so we'll have basically, it's a trader's dream to think about it. Money is just constantly flowing into Ethereum and then flowing out, and then, you know, going to ICOs and then coming right back and being sold. So, you know, we're going to have a nice roller coaster ride, whether it's a roller coaster ride to the upside or it's a roller coaster ride to the downside. And they end up losing out. Yeah, they do, man. A lot of people in these ICOs will end up losing out. I've not bought one ICO at all. I've not invested in one ICO. Can I predict that the second wave will dip lower, Norman? No, I can't, dude. Nobody can. Nobody can at all. All you could really do is watch a chart and look at that order book heavily. And I do like Bitfinex, where I can look at the full order book. And I mean, I can see everything, you know, that's in that order book. Unless they're hiding their order, then you have no way of really finding out, you know, somebody that's hiding their order. But you can look at the full order book and see exactly where people are stacked up, and play those. You know, hop in front of them and get in before they do. But yeah, nobody can predict the bottom at all unless there's a bunch of whales. You know, they're all in cahoots and they say, all right, you know what? Let's start pumping millions of dollars into whatever it might be, Ethereum at 130. You know, because we see people are stacked up to buy this at $100, and we're not going to let it get to $100 because, you know, we don't want the masses to have majority of the Ether that's out there. You know, they want to keep the 1%. So what are they going to do? They're all going to start buying at 130 and cause the price to kind of go right back up. So they are the ones that will basically kind of dictate or know, you know, where the low is going to be, or they'll get very close to it. We can't get too close to it, to be honest with you. We don't have that information, and we don't have the funds to be able to say, you know what, I got the funds. I can force this thing to turn around right here, right now, because I'm just going to start buying in increments as it's going up, and that will cause the momentum. It'll cause the volatility. It'll cause upswings. The momentum traders are going to come in and see that this is going up, and they'll contribute to me raising the price up. The Dubai review, yes, the fundamentals can overcome technical analysis. You're absolutely right. Oh, that's the question you're asking me. Yes, they can. So, the thing is though, why did they put this news out, recently, to cause it to basically turn around from 130? Just think outside the box. It's all planned. It really is. And they knew when that was going to be. They probably knew when the EEA, news was going to be coming out. And that BTC had 80% signal. They definitely got to think outside the box as to why, that came out right at the 130. They could have came out with that a while back. With the EEA report. You'll take some 190 BTC. Yeah, dude, we would all love 190 BTC. Last time I remember at 190, it got to 165. I was flying to Florida with me and the family. We're flying down to Fort Lauderdale and then driving down to the Florida Keys. And I was like, man, I got into BTC when it was like a little under 500 bucks. Now it's like 165. I'm like, oh, that's money gone. Until months and months and months and months later, somebody mentioned it and it clicked in my head that, oh, but yeah, that's the time that we should have been buying. Really, that was the time we should have been buying. So, but we didn't know really what BTC was all about back then. We didn't know if this was something that was just gonna, come along and then kind of die off like everything else just kind of does, or if this is the legit real thing and that there is going to be, backing behind this. Now we know that there is going to be. So, if it gets to 190, I think Abraham Lincoln would probably roll out of his grave and start buying BTC. LTC should be way over 200. Yeah, dude. End of year prediction is 100. But yeah, think about it. So, BTC goes to 5,000. Ether goes to 1,000. Litecoin would be 200 basically. So yeah, it should be, and I think it will be. As BTC and as Ether start to rise, Litecoin is going to rise with it as well too. John McAfee. Oh, you know what? I meant to mention that. All right. Let me see what Oni's saying. Jonas, mad props for the dissection of his comment you had in the Slack. Yeah, and I will talk about that. You want a beep eating T-shirt? Yeah, I won't say that word. Because I don't know. If we have any. Hopefully, we don't have any young kids watching this. But I have kids, and if I'm watching somebody's live stream, my kids are hearing that thing. So I don't want to say that type of word on this live stream. But let's go ahead and cover John McAfee real quick as best as I can. So I followed John McAfee a while back because I've traded. You guys know that I've traded the traditional financial market, and MGTI or MGT investment, was basically one of the companies that, after he went into hiding, he sold, McAfee antivirus. He was hanging out in Costa Rica, doing whatever he was doing. He decided to join MGTI investment. So now the MGTI does not stand for McAfee Global Technologies. That's what he wants it to stand for. But they, I don't think, whoever he sold McAfee to, the antivirus does not want him to use the McAfee name in anything that he's affiliated with, except for his last name, of course. So what a lot of people don't know about, McAfee and MGTI investment is that MGTI runs the largest hydro farming, farm basically. They're basically mining for Bitcoin, and they're doing it through hydropower. So he's saving a lot of money on electricity because he's using hydropower. And they are producing 5.0 terahash and basically mining 100 Bitcoins per month. So now they've been doing this for a while. This is not something new that MGTI has been doing. Now, MGTI was traded on NASDAQ, and of course, they fell below the threshold of $1 for X amount of time. So instead of them doing a kind of like a reverse, stock split, they ended up just kind of going over the counter because then they are not heavily scrutinized by regulators when they're over the counter. They don't really have to provide any type of financial documents on a quarterly basis, annual basis, whatever it might be. So they went over the counter. But yeah, they do run. And MGTI also does a bunch of other things in the sense of internet security and things like that. But they run one of the biggest hydro farming facility. Mining 100 Bitcoins on a monthly basis. So for him to make that statement, he has his own motive. Now I can see, if McAfee was not involved in MGTI and, they were not mining Bitcoins and he was just, an investor, a trader, a believer, for him to make that statement, yes. You know what? I would probably kind of look at it and say, you know what? He's You could be absolutely right. And he could be right years down the road, not anytime soon. You know, I think within 3 years or 2 years that he said, it might be a little unrealistic for $500,000 per Bitcoin. Can it get there? Yes. Can it be 10 years? Possibly. Not within 3 years. I think this is, I mean, we really have to think about realistic thoughts. And really, to me, that's unrealistic. So there's a motive for him to make that comment. There is a motive. They're mining 100 Bitcoins on a monthly basis. He wants the price to go up. It's not going to go up to 500,000 within 2 years, but he wants that price to go up to 5,000, 10,000, so they could probably start cashing out and then buying back in when it gets up to 10,000, or when it gets up to 6,000 and dips to 3,000, and then goes up to 10,000 and dips to 5,000. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to cause volatility in the market because he's heavily involved in it. And this is kind of my take on John McAfee. And and I meant to put that in the title, but I think I ran out of space to put that in the title. But yeah, there's a motive for John McAfee for what he's saying. But if it does, go up to $500,000, I mean, we'd all be sitting in great position. And I mean, do you think national television is going to allow him to do what he says he's going to do? No, definitely not. I mean, he's going to have to live stream it, and then YouTube might even shut it down. But yeah, he's talking out of his ass. Whatever he's smoking, I mean, I'm sure he's smoking tons of other crazy things. Yeah, he needs to lay off of it for a little bit. Clear his mind, clear his conscience. But yeah, let me try to get to some of these comments. I know that was a long thing, but Oni, thank you so much for bringing that up, because I meant to talk about it and I completely forgot about it. And not a lot of people know that McAfee is involved in mining Bitcoin. 5.0 terahash. I mean, they're saving a lot of money, first of all, on that hydropower. But yeah, 100 Bitcoins a month, that's a lot. Tracy, welcome. It's been a while since I've seen you in this live stream, or maybe you have been and you just haven't commented. Hard to be patient, sitting, waiting for BTC to drop before you can buy. So I can trade and be happy. I didn't have cash on hand to buy the last dip. And that's a good point that you made, that you didn't have cash on hand to buy the last dip. It's always beneficial, even if you're not going to trade it, to just have USD sitting in case if a drop does happen. You don't want to tie up all of your USD into one or two cryptocurrencies, because if you're down, you might not sell to take advantage of something that has dropped. So always have a little bit of USD, just to be able to take advantage of these drops. All right, 1225, 2326 for BTC, 4180. For Litecoin, but yeah, I mean, it's holding that 225. It's holding above 200, and that's good. If she does crack above 200, that's when we're going to see really the drastic drop. But right now, I mean, she's doing pretty well, and she's holding up. You think the bottom is a long ways down? Yeah, it could be. 200 LTC, you mean the ultra mega chicken? The Schmo, was it the Schmo or the Shmee? The Schmo me. The bottom has been 175 2 times. I don't know what exchange you're looking at. 130 was the bottom that I see. So yeah, Joe Mama, if you want to let me know what exchange, because you guys got to remember that too, that just because I say, oh, it's 130, it hit 130, it hit 136, that doesn't necessarily mean it hit 136 on the exchange that you're actually trading on. Now I know with Litecoin, it hit 65 or 68 bucks on Kraken. That was a high. It has never touched that on Bitfinex as well as Coinbase. So so you definitely got to keep that in mind, that we are dealing in a decentralized exchanges, that they are going to have their own volume, their own liquidity, their own chart pattern. Now the overall chart pattern will look the same if you're looking at a larger time frame, let's just say 12 hours to a day. But if you really get granular, then you're going to see the price difference, that there is a price difference. Sometimes it's major, sometimes it's minor. But yeah, if you do a 12-hour overlay or just a 12-hour side-by-side comparison of a single chart on the same time frame, you're going to see that the trend is basically the same. It hasn't changed at all. Fourth quarter bottom. So end of fourth quarter, you're thinking? I mean, I'm thinking, we'll see a turnaround once winter really starts. Once it starts really getting cold, and people can't really go out to the beach and take vacations with their families and things like that, that's really when we're going to see that turnaround. So, maybe mid fourth quarter, after possibly seeing what's going to happen with this hard fork in October, November. But yeah, I can see, what, if that all kind of subsides, then mid-November, December, yeah, that could be the turnaround that we're going to be looking for up to May or June, and then summertime starts. I'm going to be sitting in all cash basically. Wintertime, that's when I'll be loading up on cryptocurrency. Maybe that should be a T-shirt. Load up in the winter and dump in the summer. Maybe that'll be the next title of the video. If I have time, can I look at ant shares? Yes. So you know what? I will make a point today to take a look at Tracy. Ant shares is going to be third on my list to take a look at. And I mentioned earlier, so if you do ask me to take a look at a cryptocurrency and I jot it down on my paper and I'm not able to cover it on this live stream, I will definitely cover it on the next live stream. Who said the moon mission? It just scrolled up before I got a chance to get to it. Oh, morning. Okay. I thought somebody said it was mooning. Bob, welcome, buddy. Patrick. Oh, man, I haven't seen you in a while, bud. Hope all's well. Yeah, sorry, I'm missing a lot of these questions because it just scrolled up and I kind of forgot where I left off. But I'll try to find a good spot. Oni, it's not a problem, buddy. It's not a problem at all. Because these comments are not part of the live stream. So I'm not going to censor you. If you want to say some of those bad words, I just won't say them on the air in case somebody is live streaming this and they don't have the headset on and they have kids in the background. I try to be very cautious of what my kids hear and what I say in front of my kids. So I will not be saying those out loud. Sometimes it does slip out. I mean, we're only human beings. It slips out. McAfee puffing the DMT. Oh, dude, more than DMT. I don't know what he's puffing. But yeah, he's not right in the head. Don't hodl. Forget about it. Yeah, dude. This is not the time to hodl. Like I said, once summer ends, that's really the time to hodl. That's really the time that, being in a solid cryptocurrency, and I don't mean some of these pump and dumps, just being in a very good, solid cryptocurrency that has a community back and that has, great development team, with a great, outlook for the future. Those are the coins that you definitely want to be hodling, and you definitely want to be holding some of the coins that are building the foundation for this cryptocurrency market to just rapidly expand and keep growing and growing and growing. There's probably over 850 cryptocurrencies now. I can't remember 3, 4, 4, 5 months ago what it was. I'll have to see if there's a data chart for that. I said there might be. Let me see. I don't know if CoinMarketCap would have something to that extent. Chain coin. A chain has been broken. Actually, I haven't even looked at chain coin. Let's see. And I'm not buying chain coin, guys. I would more likely break the link. 191 down 38%. Yeah, dude. The chain has been broken. But let's see. Currencies 810. I thought it was a lot higher than that. Yeah, it's not going to show me a chart. Yeah, I wish it would show me a chart exactly, how, this market, I mean, it does in the sense of market cap, but, in the sense of, coins just coming out left and right, how gradually that has gone up. But I'm sure, we can look at the, the overall chart of Ether and say, okay, you know what, this is basically when it started, all these coins started coming out because really that's when a lot of Ether was kind of bought up. All right, a lot of questions. So, I mean, if I'm scrolling up and down on this, I'm only going to really get to the questions that, somebody would have put, at CryptoTraders Room, and then put the comment in, or use some sort of emoji to make it stand out. That's really the only way that I can pick out some of these comments and be able to respond to them. Let's see. Miraz, you new to cryptocurrency? Should you buy Bitcoin at current price or wait till after the weekend dip? You're a bit confused. Shouldn't Bitcoin price go up due to BIP 91? No, not necessarily, because I mean they're worried about user activated soft fork. So no, I would probably wait till the weekend, to be honest with you. We saw last weekend that if prices do drop on the weekend. There aren't too many traders that are out trading. They might lock in those profits and take money off the table. So we should see some sort of a drop this weekend. That's really the best time to kind of maybe take advantage of it and watch it like a hawk, and start putting in some low ball offers on the buy side. Let's see if LTC is going to break $40. 41.36. Let me get a better chart up here. I think I seem to have lost one of my charts somehow, some way. That's all right. We'll just look at two charts. Yeah, Oni, definitely. Yeah, get it off the exchanges. If you do decide to buy BTC, get it off those exchanges. But yeah, I mean, this is downtrending. Even though Litecoin is a little more solid than BTC and Ether at the current moment, it's still downtrending. They hit that high and then downtrended, so it's going to follow the same suit. It really is, and I think it'll provide some great buying opportunities. But if we really look at the overall, the overall chart, I mean, this is gearing up for another run. But I firmly believe that she is going to touch or get close to that low that it just recently has set. In the overall chart, and I'm going to get rid of, we can always draw these lines again, support and resistance. But yeah, I mean, if you're a long-term investor, let me go ahead and zoom in so you guys can probably see this a little better. This is really the chart you should be looking at. 12 hours, one-day chart, and basically just by looking at it and say, all right, you know what, I'm still good. I bought this at 10. I bought this at 12. I bought this at 15. You know what? I'm still good. It's not really completely breaking down yet. It hasn't really started hitting that $20 handle that I've talked about. But I firmly believe that $20 handle will happen before we run up to 75, $100. It's just a matter of time before selling intensifies and brings it down, because Bitcoin and Ethereum are bringing everything back down. So what was this low that it touched here? 1908. I mean, we have not seen. I mean, it was once that it broke below below $20. From May 3rd on until now, it only touched under $20 once. So, I firmly believe we are going to touch the $20 handle. Now, when I say 20, it's not exactly $20. Anywhere under $29.99 to $20 is considered a $20 handle. It's just a matter of trying to figure out, okay, where could the bottom actually be on this? If she does somehow, some way, make a correction to the downside because somebody had fat fingers and decided to sell, where would I put my order in? And I think I would be putting orders in at the $25 range, somewhere in the midpoint of that $20 handle. So if she does have a nice violent crash and she corrects before running up to 75 to 100, I can see this thing coming down to that $25 range before the summer ends. And then once winter picks up, it's nothing but an uptick and to the moon from there on. But I will be putting in those low ball offers to buy at 25.01. I will definitely leave capital available for that possibility. But it's not going to do it anytime now. It's not. But getting close, I think to after August, September range, somewhere in that extent. If it hasn't already reached that, touched that $20 handle, it could get there. But yeah, for long-term investors, I mean, this is looking good. This is basically what you're looking at and saying, yeah, this is solid. I'm still good. I can care less about these dips that I'm seeing because I'm not watching this on a day-to-day basis and churning my stomach because I'm seeing these drops and it's going to cause me to panic sell. Because it would cause anybody to panic sell when they see it from going from 57.75 all the way down to let's just say 35 bucks. That's a huge drop. And if they're seeing that, then they might panic and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to sell at 36. Or 37 because it's dropped 20 bucks, and then what do you know? They're only selling $2 above the low, and before it decides to rip back up. But yeah, I mean, overall chart, I mean, this is looking good, and it is gearing up for another push to the upside. And we've seen it numerous times, especially right up here where it had a nice run up, came back down, slowly but surely grinded up. Especially when she's going parabolic on these candlesticks here, where she's just shooting straight up. She's going to come down and consolidate, and then push back up, come down, kind of consolidate on the uptick, push back up nicely, break down. But when she breaks down, she doesn't break down fully, like we've seen with a lot of these other cryptocurrencies, where she just basically, I mean, there's profit takers, that are locking in profit. That does exist, and she will give back some of the gains, especially if you bought at the top. But having a nice little correction like this is healthy. She needs to be able to breathe. And I think it was Patrick that said it a long time ago. They need to be able to breathe. They need a little time out. They need to slow down. Shoot them with a tranquilizer, slow it down a little bit so that we don't have a massive crash. Because if it goes up so high so fast, the crash is only going to be bigger. So having these nice little, downtrend, from a nice peak is healthy, and we need that to happen so that the crash isn't as severe. But yeah, so basically, she turned around a little bit, hit 32, 33 bucks before running up to 57.75. And right now, that's kind of the level that we're seeing is, from 57.75, she's giving back, some of those gains, and then she'll have another crazy uptick. But we'll see how far she can get, before really having a nice run up to the upside. And if you're trading on GDAX, really, I mean, I've said it before. It's a $100 price point target, by end of the year. And I think, and I firmly believe, in order for it to get there, they have to activate margin trading. Now, as evil margin trading might be, and how some people might get suckered in and taken advantage of, it needs that type of liquidity. It really does. And when margin trading is activated, short trading is activated as well too. And we need short traders to be able to buy back, to have a little momentum in the market. Because when short traders are shorting, I mean, majority of you guys know what they do. But for anybody new to this live stream, I'll kind of talk about it briefly, and then I'll try to get to some of the comments. And then I do have to end the live stream. So I didn't get a chance to take a look at Quark or Siacoin or Ant shares, but I will definitely take a look at that because it's kind of important to know how short trading works. For you guys who have been trading for a while, you know how it works. So let's just say hypothetically, for some apparent reason, I decided to short at 57.75 because I figured that was going to be the top, and I called it perfectly. So I shorted at 57.75. So I basically have coins that do not belong to me. And basically, I took those coins that didn't belong to me, and I sold them right away. That's how I had an entry of 57.75. So I'm selling something that doesn't even belong to me. And then basically, as the price drops, that's when I'm going to start making money. If the price goes up, I'm going to end up losing money. So I need the price to drop when I'm shorting something at a very specific price. So basically, they're selling into the market, which if you have a lot of short sellers that are basically shorting, initially what they're doing is they're selling, which could cause the price to kind of start dipping. When the price starts dipping, they're making money. And if they're happy with their profit, they have to buy back. So they have to buy and return the coins back that they sold that didn't belong to them. So when they're buying back, they're providing liquidity, they're providing momentum. So if you have people that are buying and then you got short sellers that are buying, that's a lot of volume that's coming in on the buy side, which would cause a nice uptick. Now, let's say, it starts to, let's say for some apparent reason, I didn't cover my short position. I got in at 57.75 and it got to $34 and I got greedy because I'm expecting 30 bucks and it didn't hit 30 bucks and it starts to go up on me and it starts to break out above 57.75. I'm losing money if it goes above 57.75. What's going to happen? It's called a short squeeze. So the more buying that intensifies with long positions, it's going to cause short sellers to panic and buy because it's called a short squeeze because they're squeezing the shorts out of their money because now they're in the red because the price has gone up above 57.75. So the buying frenzy basically intensifies because you got regular longs that are buying, momentum chasers, because this is starting to go to the moon, and they're providing that liquidity, they're providing that momentum. But short sellers are also, you know, adding fuel to that fire for the upside momentum. So the more shorts we have and the price is going up, the more of a parabolic move we're going to have, because they're also buying to try to cover their ass and not, you know, be left with, you know, with just their underwear on. And a lot of traders, I mean, you know, that's why you can't short and kind of walk away from your computer. You know, if you have a nice uptick and movement, you're going to come back and be like, whoa, I'm down 10 grand, or, oh, wow, they just liquidated me. You know, it's going to happen. So yeah, I look forward to Coinbase activating margin again, because once they activate margin, they are going to activate short selling. And that's just great. I want to see them activate short selling. I want to see shorts piling in at a very specific price, which we can't really tell. But then when it starts to go, you know, when it starts to really start making a move to the upside, and shorts are still heavily positioned in a short position, and they run out of capital, because really what a lot of shorts end up doing is they get in at a very, very specific price, and let's just say the trade turns against them and starts to go up, they're going to add more to that short to kind of lower their or raise their cost average. Instead of lowering their cost average, they're raising their cost average. And as it starts to go up again, they're going to buy back more, so they lower their cost average again. But eventually they're going to run out of money, because it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So then eventually they got to buy back to cover what it is that they owe. And that's when we have the crazy parabolic move to the upside. So yeah, keep an eye out on when GDAX activates margin, because that's when we're going to see, you know, short sellers start to pile in. And I wish there was some way that we can find out where shorts were piling in, because then that would indicate to us, you know what, if the short squeeze happens, you know, we're gonna end up making a lot of money, because it's going to send the price skyrocketing. All right, let me get to some of the comments, and then at 12 o'clock on the dot, I do have to end this live stream, but I'll do my best to get to some of these comments. But yeah, if you found this helpful, you know, especially if you found that information helpful about how short trading works and how they can provide liquidity to the market on a nice upswing, causing that short squeeze to happen, yeah, click on that thumbs up button. You know, smack that thumbs up. You know, or you know, don't forget to subscribe as well too. Click on that subscribe button, as well as the post notification. And you know, and if you're on Steemit, help us out. You know, upload our videos, and feel free to share this with anybody and everybody that's interested in getting into the cryptocurrency market. I mean, send them a link to this video, you know, so that they could actually join this live stream and pick up a little, you know, tricks here and there on how to basically kind of set themselves up for a better future, on how to find a good entry and not really buy something kind of going in blind and expecting and hoping and wishing that it goes up, because like I've said before, that's not a trading strategy at all. All right, so let's see. Selling all BTC to USDT today. Forget about it. Yeah, especially, you know, let's take a look at BTC real quick. I'll just pull up the chart. I might not talk about it too much, but I kind of want to see what it's doing. Yeah, especially if she Oni, you know, if she dips on you, I think that was Oni that said it. Yeah, if she decides to dip on you, yeah, I mean, you made a great choice, and then utilize the USDT to be able to take advantage of a dip. All you can say is arise, chicken, arise. Did they really, Tracy? I didn't know they sold their ICO for 180 bucks. Oh man, it could have been worse. They could have sold it for 130, depending on what exchange they were using. But yeah, that's the problem you're going to have is, you know, some of these ICOs, they need USD. They need the funds to be able to sustain their project. You know, they're not going to be able to, you know, go to Staples and use Ether to purchase their office equipment or their computers or whatever it might be. They need USD, so they got to sell. Yeah, you're right, man, Rocky. If they would have waited one day, you know, sold at 260, 250, yeah, they're probably kicking themselves right now. Yeah, sorry I'm getting to these comments late. So just to let you guys know that, you know, there is no lag at all in this live stream. It's just basically, I'm just getting to these comments kind of late. Oni, hopefully you're not chained to the front car of this roller coaster with Chaincoin. Yeah, don't get stuck in chain coin. So yeah, I'll have to see 175 on Poloniex. I'll definitely have to take a look at that later on and see exactly what it's done. Because yeah, Poloniex and Bittrex tend to follow the same price point. I mean, they're off by a couple bucks here and there, but they tend to be kind of aligned with each other. Yeah, but I'm assuming that on every exchange, I haven't looked at every exchange. I'm assuming that on every exchange that, Ether fell below 150. It just on different exchanges, it got to 130, 136, probably 140, but they all fell below 140. Sell in May and go away, Mike. Oh man, that is a stock trader's mentality, dude. So you must have traded the financial market, because not a lot of people would say sell in May and go away. That is heavily used in the stock market, and it's true. It really is true, and we see that. I mean, if you really look at the overall stock market, you do see that volume of volatility dies down in May, summertime, and then it picks back up. Once fall kind of starts up. But yeah, sell in May and go away, and that's kind of what I'll be doing going forward. Is getting out of majority of my positions and really staying into USD, maybe having a couple here and there, but being heavily leveraged into USD so that when we do have a major crash, in June, July, or August, you're able to take advantage of those crashes and buy in at a very cheap price. CHC died today. Tomorrow it will be buried. When are they going to resurrect it? It's going to be resurrected. They're going to come out and be like, let's link this chain back up. Let's not break the link. And whoever breaks the link, I'm sure if they find out whoever broke the link, I'm sure they'll be hated on. But yeah, they got to get the chains to link again. Once one person breaks a chain, yeah, it's not a good trade to be in. And it only takes one big person to say, hey, and they could just be making up fake news, and just coming on YouTube and saying, hey, Chaincoin is a scam. That's all they got to say. And what do you think would happen? It would come crashing. Rest in links. Yeah. That should be their t-shirt. Chaincoin, rest in links. Oh yeah, I gotta say, buddy, man, you usually have me laughing, and thank you for bringing this humor out on Slack chat, on this YouTube live stream. You and Rocky Mountain are awesome, man, and I do appreciate it. It makes some of my bad days kind of, gets me laughing and smiling, just reading some of your comments. So, yeah, hyped coin or hyped scam, exactly. And a lot of these, coins that are, built on the Ethereum network are scam coins. I mean, just really got to know that. Unless you've really been following that coin and following their development team and following their, their roadmap, their outlook. And as long as it has a community backing, it's going to survive. It will survive. But if it doesn't have the community backing, it's just going to slowly but surely start dying. Summertime in Sweden. Yeah, dude. Got to catch the sun rays, huh? Yeah, dude, we missed you on our chat, man. Vince Vegas. I haven't seen Vince Vegas in a while. If you had McAfee money, you'd go on a psychedelic bender. Yeah, dude, I'm sure that's what he did in Costa Rica, man. That's what he did. I mean, he sold, McAfee antivirus. And I mean, think about it. I mean, he infected everybody's computer with a virus, is what he did, and made tons of money off of it. Like, how does that happen? How do you infect people's computer with a virus and make millions of dollars out of it? Because he doesn't use his own anti-software. He's just like, no way. He's like, it's a virus. Why would I want that? But yeah, I guess, yeah, you can infect, millions of computers with a virus and still make money out of it and not get arrested. But yeah, antivirus. I mean, McAfee sucks. Not the person, I'm not going to talk badly about the person, but yeah, it's just the anti-software sucks. CHC, baby. Chris, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, no CHC for me. They should call them, and I don't mean to offend anybody, Chaincoin chumps, maybe I'll make a t-shirt. Chaincoin chumps. But yeah, sorry if I offend anybody if you are in Chaincoin. You watch the chain hype? Yeah, I think a lot of people did. I didn't watch the chain hype. But yeah, the crash was epic. Rocky Mountain, that's awesome. Got out with a profit, and that's the best thing to do. Like I said before, these scam coins, you can make money off of them. You can. You just don't want to, overstay your welcome on that trade. Hit it and run. Like I said before, it's not going to love you back like the way that you would love it, or the way that your family would love you back. So yeah, don't fall in love with these cryptos. Yeah, Bob England, you're absolutely right, man. It might have been a good idea, but yeah, you're right. Once people start seeing the money sign, and they start seeing their accounts kind of blow up to the upside, yeah, they're gonna be like, this is stupid. Why would I not lock in these profits? If I'm walking down the street, and I've used it as an analogy before, if I'm walking down the street and somebody says, hey, I got $200 for you here you go, take it, I'm gonna grab it and take it. And that's exactly what this cryptocurrency market is doing. I mean, when you're up so high, people are saying, hey, I'm willing to buy this at this price. Like, give it to me. Give it to them. Sell it to them. Take that capital. And then if you really fall in love with Chaincoin and you're loving it, then yeah, wait for a dip and buy back. Good early afternoon. Yes, Nivo 1972. Good afternoon. It is 11:54 for me, so I got about 6 minutes before I can grab a beer. Because then at least it's the afternoon. I'm not saying, oh, I'm drinking in the morning. I'm drinking in the afternoon. How low do I think F will go? If it starts dropping this weekend, and I'm sorry, guys, I didn't realize I was sharing. Let me get rid of that. Okay, so at least you're able to see 3 charts. I do apologize. But, if this weekend is kind of a repeat of last weekend, and last weekend we kind of saw what happened, and if you don't, you can just kind of look at the chart and you'll see exactly what happened. If we have a repeat of that happening, then yes, F can come down and she can retest those levels again. Now, she's got a couple barriers that she has to break through in order for it to actually, start breaking down. And I think, she's already started the first wave, and that first wave would have been right up here about 225, 224-ish. So that was on the July 12th. So July 12th, she had a hard time. And I got to be able to draw out lines here, and I don't know why it's not giving me the ability. Oh, okay, they put it on the side. Now they hit it on me again, where before I clicked on this and it showed up. Now they hit it on me again on the side, but I should have seen that. All right, so let's go ahead and, 225, somewhere in that range. It's already hovering right at that 225 range. So what a lot of cryptocurrencies like to do, if you really follow the pattern and really analyze it on different time frames, is that they'd like to make the previous high a new support, or they break down through that support. So that is a support there. That the 225 range, I think it's exactly 225. I could be mistaken. Yeah, let's just say 225. We'll make the math easy. So, she came down, retested it, broke out above it, came down, retested it, broke below it. Now she's trying to retest it again to get a nice push up to the upside. If she can't sustain that 225 and she's not able to hold the 225, because there's a lot of selling that just intensifies, then yeah, the 200 is going to be a crucial part. And once she breaks under 200, then yeah, she could really come down. I think, a lot of ICO tokens will be probably selling then if they haven't already started selling, because they said, I would be looking at it and be like, oof, thank God I didn't sell at 136. Now it's up to 220. Oh man, it's crashing to 200. It broke 200. You know what? Let's just sell before it gets down to 130 again, so that they're able to lock in a higher profit than selling at 130 and losing the majority of their profit or capital, whatever it is, however amount of money that they raised. But yeah, once she hits 200, yeah, it might be lights out to possibly retest that low. And that low on Bitfinex was 136. The low on GDAX was I wish. The low on GDAX was 130 on the dot. So, she's got some levels that she has to break, and she's currently at that level testing it out to see exactly, how she wants to handle this level. And right now, it doesn't seem too good. I mean, we're looking at the 30-minute chart. Let's look at the 15 minutes. Let's get a little more granular and look at the 5 minutes. Yeah, it doesn't know what direction it wants to take. It knows that 225 is a crucial level. And if she can maintain that 225, we're good for a little bit. If she can't maintain that 225, 200 is in sight. And let me go and put a line there. So 200 is in sight. And that's kind of a psychological level, at 200. If she breaks through it, she's basically going to be getting right down to our 200-day moving average. Our 200-day moving average is right under 200 bucks, 198. We'll say 190. We'll just say 199. So 199 is the 200-day moving average, and a lot of traders will play these moving averages. That, you know, if she breaks above it, you know, they're still good. They're going to add to their position. If she breaks below it, they're getting out. So there could be a lot of selling that intensifies at that 200-day moving average. So that's why it's a very good psychological level to kind of look at. And if she breaks through it, I mean, she's under all moving averages. You know, she's under the 200, 100, 59, 18-day moving average, and then she could really, really, really retest, you know, the levels of 136. I don't know if it'll get to 136, you know, because she's got a couple of other hurdles that she has to break below. And that second hurdle is going to be right up here, 170, 175-ish. So let me put a line there, and I'll tell you why 175 is going to be crucial. 175 right about here. And that 175 is important because of what she has done in the past in regards to that number of 175. So if we look all the way to the left here, you know, she got close to that 175 before really, you know, having a nice div cap bounce. And then when she broke down, she touched that 175, broke below 175 a little bit, and kind of had a nice, you know, stayed above it for a little bit, not for too long, but stayed above it. And that would have showed, okay, you know what, it's got a little bit of support there. It stayed above it. It didn't just continue to crash. And then, of course, with BTC, everything else crashing, yes, you know, she couldn't sustain that 175. She tried to. She hovered above it, couldn't sustain it, hovered below it, couldn't sustain it, had a massive drop. So if we kind of zoom out of this and kind of look at to see what happened after it dipped and it started making a nice run up, that 175 did play a crucial role. Here's a 175 here. And let me see if I can put circles. And I do apologize for not putting circles on here because it does make it easier for you guys to see. 175 there, broke down and couldn't do it. Finally broke above 175. And I always talk about, you know, when it breaks key resistance levels or breaks key support levels, it has to break it with a vengeance. It can't just touch it and hover around it because the uncertainty is really uncertain at that price point. But she's got to break out above it with a vengeance. And, you know, this is somewhat of a vengeance. You know, I mean, she had a really nice candlestick. Half of the candlestick broke out above that 175. And when she came down a little bit just to kind of retest it, she retested. Let me get out of here real quick. She retested the 178. So went up to 185, retested 178, went right up to 191, retested that 175 again, or 177.50. We'll make the math easy and say 175. Retested it again. So there's a couple different price points that she retested it over and over and over again, breaking out above it, retested it, breaking down, but not breaking down below that 175 to indicate that, you know what, there is support there. There is a good amount of support. And that was basically right where our 200-day moving average touched. So on this 178, I don't know if you guys can see it, but our 200-day moving average is right there. It touched that 200-day moving average before having a nice run up. So a lot of traders will play these moving averages, whether it breaks down below it or it touches it, and they'll use those moving averages as kind of a support line. And a lot of long-term investors will play the 200-day moving average. I've never really looked at anything higher than 200-day moving average, but you can customize them to any moving averages, any type of days that you want to. So that's why that 175 is crucial. If it does break below 200, 175, it should have a good amount of support because of what it's told us in the past. But if it can't sustain that 175, then that's when we're going to possibly be making lower lows. So definitely got to keep those two price points in mind and see how the price action, how, you know, the buyers and sellers are reacting to that specific price. So, I mean, we're looking at Bitfinex right now. So let's just go ahead and before I end this live stream, and then I'll do my best to get to some of these comments. And I know I'm not going to be able to get to all the comments at all, but, you know, I really want to show you guys the probability of that 200 or 175 possibly being true. Because I don't know if it's true. It's just, it's my speculation at this moment right now. Oh, let me take a look at this real quick. We've got a big seller, 42 bucks, 1,784. And then we got a big buyer, and this is on Litecoin, GDAX, 41.69, 2,000. So I want to see if they're rapidly moving through the order book. 5,000 at 41.50. So good support there. but that could be a fake wall. We'll see if it gets close, to 155 if they take it off. But that's a good amount. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at the probability of that 200, possibly 175 being correct. So where are buyers and sellers going to support? Well, where are buyers going to support it? So let's go ahead and Ethereum. Still morning in Texas. Yeah, so yeah, if I was living in Texas, it'd be too early for me to grab a beer. But it's 12:03. And the nice thing is I do have a bar that's probably a fraction of a second walking distance from my office. And I can go in the bar and kind of grab a drink. So if I'm having a rough day, if the market is just not cooperating, yeah, I don't have to go out to the bar and drink my sorrows away. I can do that right in my basement. All right, so order book is currently what we're going to be looking at before I end this live stream. The stream is a bit broken by the looks of it. It shouldn't be broken. If you mean broken in the sense of you're looking at two different charts, yes, I do have two different pages open and kind of minimize them to kind of fit it on one screen, if that's what you mean by broken. If you mean it's just fuzzy, click on that refresh button. That's probably the best thing to do, or change your resolution. And you can change your resolution by clicking on the little setting on the YouTube page, and then it'll give you the option to raise that resolution based on what your computer is able to support. Mine is set to auto at 360, which I don't know why it's set to 360. Yeah, that's just crazy. Minimum should be like 720. Yeah, let's put that on 720. Now it's clear. On my end, it's clear. So you just got to mess around with it a little bit, Bob. You have to refresh. You think it's Firefox. Happens with your live stream or chat. Yeah, hitting refresh definitely solves all the problems. Okay, so we're looking at, oh, not BTC. We need to take a look at Ethereum for the 200 and possibly 175. Rick, welcome, buddy. Let's see, you're not a trader, too complex for me. Just have your crypto mine for me. Just have your crypto mine for me and get paid 24/7, regardless of whether the price goes up or down. Far less stress. Yes, you're absolutely right, man. Far less stress. And I've said it before. Trading is stressful. It is not easy. Especially the cryptocurrency. It's 24/7, and having an open position could be a little scary. It could cause you to lose a little bit of sleep. But yeah, I don't recommend day trading. I recommend, buying when things correct and holding. Stacking those coins when things drop, and then selling when it starts to rip up. That's really what I recommend, to be honest with you. I don't recommend day trading at all. And it's been a while since I've actually day traded. Now I'm just kind of, holding it for a couple of days and looking at the trend. And, when the trend goes up, I'm happy with my profit. I'm out. So, I'll be happy with, $45 on Litecoin when Litecoin does get to 45 bucks. And it will. Danny Baker, the touchdown maker. Oh, dude, it's been how long? I don't know if you're still on vacation in Vietnam, but yeah, welcome, dude. It's great to have you on this live stream. Thank you so much. It's been a while since I've kind of talked to a lot of the core CTR group. When I first started this, and I sent that email out to 13 of you guys. There's a couple people missing. So it'd be great to hear from you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at it, and I'll try to get to some of the comments that's under Danny Baker. But let's go ahead and take a look at that 200 and also 175. How many buyers and sellers are stacked up? What are my probabilities of that being accurate? And I have no way of finding out unless we take a look at the order book, because the order book does provide a good amount of data. All right, 200, where are you? Here we go. So the probabilities of that are excellent of it having a turnaround. So 40, and guys, I did not take a look at this at all to kind of plant this out. I had no clue where buyers and sellers are stacked up. And I don't take a look at that, to be honest with you. That's not the first thing I look at. I analyze a chart and I take a look at the probabilities of what I'm thinking, because I want to think exactly like majority of the traders are thinking. And if you can think like the way the majority of the traders are thinking, you don't need to take a look at the order book. And there's going to be situations where, I'm on my phone and I don't have access to the order book, but I'm looking at these candlesticks and I can plot out exactly where that support and the resistance are. without having to take a look at the order book. But this kind of confirms, if you're just kind of starting out and you're plotting out the support and resistance, this is a great way to confirm that, you're thinking alike, like a lot of other traders are. And that's what you want to do. You want to think like all the other traders, because that will give you a better understanding of the market, the psychology of it, and you're able to kind of time, and be patient with your entries or exit. So we got 40 buyers. Let me go ahead and highlight that. I'm hoping you guys can see that. But we got 40 buyers, 717 Ether at $200 even flat. And I think, okay, no, we do have 203 for 1,083. Let's see, I didn't take a look at above it to see if there's any other crazy ones. 1,200 at 2012, 130 at 217, 800 at 218. But depending on the sell side, I mean, if I had a lot of Ether and I was seeing how people were stacked up to buy at a specific price, and it doesn't happen to be the biggest support, I'm going to unload on them. I might have a hidden order, a hidden sell order, or a hidden buy offer as well too. So there could be a lot more buyers at that 200 price point that just will pay the extra fee to hide their order. So I'm assuming, considering we got 42, I'm sorry, not 42 people. We have, 42 people at 210, but just, it's only 281 Ether. But that $200 price point seems to be, somewhat solid for me to be patient and kind of wait for it. But let's also take a look at that 175. 175, where is she? There she is. 9 people. Okay, so not too many. So not too many people believe in that 175 price point. But as the time goes on, people could be hopping on that 175 possibly. 165, 5,425. What happened at 165? 165. So they're playing this candlestick right about here. So where it had a somewhat of a healthy correction, after it went up here, touched that 175, it had a nice healthy correction down to 158 before really making a nice push up. So they're playing at 165, so close to the bottom of where that might have touched. So they're not playing the 158, but the 165 is currently what they're playing. Let me look at this a little more granular. So they're playing this hammer, and this is it's not a true hammer, but it's close to a hammer on a nice little uptick. So we had 2 green candles opened up above the previous candle's closing price, but we had a big somewhat of a sell-off that happened here, where sellers did bring down this candlestick all the way down to 161, but then buyers, or the bulls, bought this right back up. And closed it at 165, basically. So the closing price was 165.25. So basically, they're playing this candlestick here, because ever since then, it was nothing but a nice uptick. Let's see if there's any other big buyers. 25 for 5,480 at 160. Are any of them stacking up at that 136 price level? 26 for 5,400 at 150. 2,000, one person. So yep. Person just kind of buffering out, or not buffering out. They're just kind of separating their orders and spacing them out, basically. 135, 136. So nobody's really playing that 136.12. Not too many people. So we'll see if the probability comes true on that. It could and it couldn't. All right, let me get to some of the comments, and then I got to end the live stream. No man chain to BTC. Maybe that's what BTC needs, to get to that $5,000 level and say, you know what, screw you, segregated witness, screw you, segregated 2x, and, hard fork, user activated soft fork. Really all BTC needs is, it needs Satoshi to come out and say, you know what, I'm not going to allow you to manipulate this project I started. This isn't the reason why I started, for you guys to manipulate it. I'm back and I'm taking control, and screw your user activated soft fork and user activated hard fork. It's not happening under my watch. Really, that's what it needs for Bitcoin to really get up to that 5, 10,000, 20,000 range. If it could just have him probably make some sort of statement, either on Twitter or on that email that he's kind of used in the past when everybody thought Doran Satoshi Nakamoto was Satoshi Nakamoto, and he wrote an email or a message saying, "I am not Doran." I am not Doran is basically what he said. But yeah, he's alive. But it's just a matter of him coming out and just tweeting something out, do something. Help your girl out. People are trying to bleed her and take advantage of her. Help her out, Satoshi, and make a little statement. And I think that would help out in the confidence of BTC. Rick, I like that, man. I like that comment. Still profits. I'm not greedy. And I've said it before. Greed is what's going to take away your profit and also take away your capital. Don't get greedy. And then that's awesome, man. You're looking at it as this is profit. This is free money that somebody's giving me, and I'm going to take it. I'm not going to get greedy and hope and wish that it gets up to a higher price. Because what's going to happen if it does get up to that high price that you're thinking? Then you're going to be like, oh, it got to 45 bucks. I'm going to wait for 50. And then it'll start moving up, get close to 50, and you're like, oh man, this can hit 60, and it never gets to that level. It never gets to 50, it never gets to 60. So yeah, don't get greedy. Lock in those profits when you have them. Be happy with them. Pat yourself on the back. Go grab a beer, whatever it might be. But yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, Oni, dude, I would love to meet you one day, bud. I'm sure you're a great guy to hang out with. And then, like you said, I mean, you're always smiling, so if you're smiling, dude, that's awesome. And one day, man, one day we'll do a meet and greet. One of these days it'll happen. People following high on coins guy deserve to be scammed. Pure crypto Darwinism. I don't know who that is. I don't know who high on coins is. I haven't. Yeah, I try not to follow. I mean, there are a couple of people that I follow that actually present themselves in a positive manner, and that's really what cryptocurrency needs. Is they need people to kind of talk about the facts, not hype things. And Ken Bozak, I've watched a couple of his videos. Got a chance to actually catch one of his live streams. I mean, he was awesome. I mean, he tells it how it is. He's not there to pump something. He's not there to talk about what's going to benefit his agenda. I mean, he's one of the realest, and of course Omar, aka Crypto. I think those two guys being in this cryptocurrency market and having more people that are like that is really what this community needs. And we don't need somebody that's just pumping and dumping, and because that puts a bad taste in any new investor, new traders that are coming onto this market. I mean, we want mass adoption, and when I say mass adoption, we want mass adoption in the people that are coming onto this cryptocurrency market. And if they're being taken advantage of, they're going to leave. They're not going to come back. They're going to tell their friends not to get involved in it. So, I mean, in order for this cryptocurrency market to hit a trillion market cap, we need those people to be safe in this wild, wild west uncertainty where people are taking advantage of others. And you guys know that that's not what I'm about. That's not what this channel is about. That's not what the Slack chat is about. But if we could have more people, like Ken Bozak and Omar, I think this community would do great. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there that are just like those two guys. It's just a matter of, I haven't found those guys yet. And if there's somebody good that you guys think that I should follow, definitely let me know. I will definitely check them out. And if I think, they got some great information to kind of put out and they're not pumping their agenda and trying to manipulate people, because this market is heavily, heavily, heavily manipulated. And I hate to see people lose money and get caught in that trap. I mean, definitely let me know. I'll gladly check them out. And if I think, they're great to follow, I will follow them and I will talk about them. I'll give them a free spot, on all these live streams that I do. I'll talk about how great they are. So definitely, if you guys get a chance, definitely, PK Crypto Trader, which I will be doing we're going to be doing an interview in a couple days, and I'll list out when that's going to be. But if you get a chance, I mean, definitely subscribe to his channel. Ken Bozak, subscribe to his channel. Crypto, aka Omar, subscribe to his channel. I think those guys really have a good foot in this cryptocurrency market, and they're not there to mislead anybody. And I've been watching them for a while, so great guys to kind of listen to or subscribe to. Turn your Lambo into a tricycle. Yeah, that's what happens. When you're not taking, especially with CHC, and a lot of the pump and dump coins as well too. That's people have the Lambo, or they got that Mercedes Benz or BMW. and then all of a sudden it turns into a tricycle, like you said, or maybe a moped. If they're lucky, they can get a moped, a electric operated moped. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I do apologize. My accent comes out and I pronounce words differently, and I'm sure you guys have picked up on that many times. Can I talk about ant shares? Oh man, so, somebody asked me about ant shares. I have it on my list, and this live stream has gone a little longer because I'd like to be a little interactive with you guys and try to respond to some of your questions instead of me just kind of jibber-jabbing about something. So towards the end of the live stream, I do tend to just kind of read the comments and respond to them as best as I can so we can be engaging, interactive, but I will cover that. I promise to cover that for you, and as well as for Tracy, because Tracy asked me to cover that. So on Friday's live stream, I will definitely be covering that for you. Oni. Oh, dude. CHC, turn your tricycle into a tech deck fingerboard. Maybe turn into a pogo stick and start pogoing around. Yes, Cryptoverse. He is solid. You're absolutely right. And I am subscribed to Cryptoverse as well, too. Tracy, I'll definitely have to check out those guys. Box mining guy and Ivan. Oni, peace, buddy. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining. I want to thank everybody that has actually joined this live stream. Thank you so much. I mean, on a daily basis, we're getting, over 50 people to join. So thank you so much, because, you're learning something. You do enjoy these live streams. And if you're new to this, click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification so that you're notified every time a video is uploaded. Don't forget to check us out on Steemit, Twitter, Facebook. Thank you to everybody that's on Steemit right now that's, viewing this live stream on Steemit, because we do live stream this on Steemit, and as well as Facebook too. So we should be live on Facebook. I got to make sure next time to verify that we are live on Facebook, because I do copy and paste the links on Steemit as well as Facebook and anywhere else that I can. So if you are on those other platforms and you're not able to get to YouTube somehow, some way, because YouTube is acting up, then you do have a different avenue, either Facebook or Steemit, to be able to live stream this and to be able to join us in this conversation. But I want to thank everybody. Radu, sorry, ants. I will definitely get to ant share. I will. It's just I can't do it now. Friday I will definitely get to it. I mean, you have my promise. But yeah, Tracy, Cosmomicos, thank you so much. Rocky Mountain, Oni. Who else we got? ECS, Rick Powell, Michael Perks, Rocky Mountain. Oh, excuse me. Danny Baker, thank you so much for joining, man. It's been awesome. Joe Mama, Bob English, Tracy Hunter. I don't know if I already said your name. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I mean, this is awesome. Patrick, it's been a while since I've seen you. It'd be great to kind of see you active on our Slack chat as well as on this live stream. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I mean, you motivate me every single day to keep doing these on a day-to-day basis. So thank you so much. Tony, sorry I didn't get a chance to answer that question. Did you see the EEA announcement? No, and I didn't get a chance to see that, but thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate everybody that's new to this. And if I forget your name, I didn't give you a shout out, I do apologize, but keep coming back to these live streams, keep chatting away, and I do my best to kind of give a shout out to everybody that's on here, but I do end up missing a good amount of the names, to be honest with you. So thank you so much for joining, guys, or ladies, because I know we do have some ladies on these live streams and I don't want to single them out. But yeah, until Friday, hopefully this market will do exactly what I expected it to do, that this is just a second wave of a drop and it is going to hit lower lows. So we'll see exactly by Friday what it does. And by Friday, if my speculation, if my prediction is correct, we'll be on a bigger downtrend than where we are currently right now at this moment. Remember, still bull trap. It is. I mean, whether we like it or not, it is. And we really have to keep that in the back of our mind and not forget about that and just say, okay, I'm going to get in here and then kind of forget about it. Always just manage that risk. Manage that risk. That's the best thing you can do. But if you do have any additional questions, definitely leave them when this video uploads. And we're very close to having 2,000 subscribers. So, if you're a subscriber already and you haven't clicked on that post notification, click on that post notification, because once we do get to that 2,000 subscriber list, actually, let me take a look at it just briefly and see where we are. I hope I didn't miss that 2,000 subscriber list. But I will be doing a special live stream, once we get to that 2,000 or even get close to it. So if you don't have post notification clicked on, you might end up missing that. So we're at 1,927 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, help us out, get us to that 2,000. And then I will be doing a special live stream with a special giveaway. And it's a very special giveaway that I'm sure you guys will be very interested in. And I'll warn you right now, I'm not giving away any Bitcoin. So if you think I'm giving away Bitcoins, it's not what I'm giving away. I think what I'm giving away is actually going to be a lot more valuable than giving away money, giving away Bitcoin. So, for you to be able to take advantage of that contest, definitely click on the post notification, because once we hit 2,000 subscribers, I will be doing a special live stream and then kind of giving away something that's very valuable. I couldn't put a price tag on it, to be honest with you. So it is a very valuable treat that I'll be offering to some of you, not everybody. I can't do it for everybody, but but thank you so much for joining. And I know this ran a little longer, and I hope you guys don't mind, because some of these live streams do run a little longer. I'd like to keep the conversation going. But thank you so much for joining. Enjoy your day, and be good and behave. Take care. Thank you.